special presentation.
This is a presentation of Fox Sports. The United Airlines pregame show is brought to you by the people of United Airlines. We are united.
So gets into one to right. Deep to right. Diamondbacks take the lead.
Well, there's a dark cloud rising from the desert floor. I packed my bags and I'm heading straight into the store. Gonna be a twister of blow. Everything down. They ain't got no faith to stand its ground. Blow away the dreams that tear you apart. Blow away the dreams that break your heart. Blow away the lies that leave you nothing but lost and broken-hearted. Well, dogs on Main Street howl, 'cause I understand if I could take one woman into my hands. Mister, I ain't a boy, no, I'm a man, and I believe in a promised land, and I believe in a promised land, and I believe in a promised land.
The roof starts to open, and we welcome you to Bank One Ballpark in Phoenix, Arizona. At the tail end of a long day of sports in this country, we at Fox are proud to present Game 2 of the 2001 World Series. It's the New York Yankees and the Arizona Diamondbacks, with Arizona up 1 game to none. I'm Joe Buck, Tim McCarver in just a moment. Well, everybody's talking about this 1-2 punch for the Diamondbacks in their starting rotation. Punch 1, Curt Schilling landed right across the Yankees' jaw last night. Not only did he get the victory, but he kept the pitch count down. 102 pitches on the night, and according to Bob Brenly, that's like him shaking hands, so he's available in Game 4 if they want to go that way. Tonight it's Randy Johnson against Andy Pettitte, who has made 3 road starts in his World Series history with a combined ERA of 0. Can he help the Yankees split the first 2 games here, or will it be 2 games to none heading to New York after tonight's game? For more on tonight's game and more about last night's game, let's go down to the field. Jeannie Zelasco and Kevin Kennedy.
Joe, thank you. The pitching was superb. The hitting relentless. The pinstripes certainly look like World Series winners. Of course, these pinstripes were purple. The Yankees, you might say, were counseled in the desert, Kevin, as in Craig Counsell.
Well, usually in the postseason, Jeannie, a role player comes up big, and that's exactly what Craig Counsell has done. Here's a guy that has to fight every spring to make a ball club. Bob Brenly gave him the opportunity, and Craig Counsell has delivered. Go back to the Atlanta series in the NLCS. Counsell was the MVP of that series with hits like this. You pitch him away, he'll hit it away. He'll go the other way. You pitch him in like the Yankees tried to do last night. He changed the momentum, down 1-0 in the first inning. Counsell got it back. He turned around him. You've seen a fastball in for a home run. Now, here's a man that only hit 4 home runs during the regular season. He's already hit 2 in the postseason. Maybe you don't have to worry about Luis Gonzalez and Matt Williams so much. Maybe it's Craig Counsell that the Yankees better pay attention to.
It's always the little guys. And this little guy, by the way, is the only member of the Arizona Diamondbacks that has actually won a world championship. He said he'd like to win another one for Team Geritol. By the way, that ring Counsell has from '97, he keeps it in a closet at home, but he keeps the memories close to his heart.
You know, I think it's more than anything. It's just something you carry with you. You know, you don't carry it, on the outside more. It's just you carry it with you on the inside, and that's what makes it so special. And these guys, the guys in the clubhouse, they all want the same thing, and I want it for them so badly. I think when we won Sunday night in Atlanta, the best part about it was, the looks on all those guys' faces. Mike Morgan, Greg Swindell, Mark Grace, Jay Bell, just how happy they were that, after 15 years and having accomplished everything, that this was the only thing that they really haven't accomplished. And the looks on their faces and the feelings that they had, that made it really, really special.
All right, well, let's be honest. There was absolutely nothing special about Game 1 for the Yankees. They managed just 3 hits, the fewest they have managed in a World Series game in 38 years. 5 unearned runs runs. Oh, yeah, they did allow that, didn't they? The most they've given up in a series game in 28 years, Kevin.
Well, Jeannie, when you think of Joe Torre postseason Yankee teams, you think of starting pitching, good defense, some timely hitting late in the ballgame to pull things out. The Yankees had none of that last night, especially the defense. Justice played right field. He made a big error in this ballgame. Bernie Williams one-handing the ball where you should two-hand to try to throw a runner out at home plate, and then they don't get Finley at third base. There was a 4-run third inning and a 4-run fourth inning for the Arizona Diamondbacks last night. Scotty Brocious also made an error. The Yankees gave up 5 unearned runs. That's not going to get it done. And, of course, Kurt Schilling only had to go 7 innings, as Joe Buck mentioned.
And the Yankees admit, okay, game 1 was embarrassing, but it is not devastating. You don't want to miss that, and you don't want to miss this. After a full day at the office Saturday, Kurt Schilling planned to lay low tonight. No such luck. He was honored with the Roberto Clemente Award presented by John Hancock for his work on and off the field. Garrick and Gabriella, his 2 kids, unveiling the sign. That's Grant, 2 years old, so he's just going to clap. Also a Subway Series reunion for Joe Torre and Bobby Valentine, accepting a special recognition award for the city of New York. As for the city of Phoenix, their Diamondbacks have a 1-0 World Series lead versus the Yankees. Bob Brenly knows all it means is we're up 1 game instead of down 1. Will they make it a 2-game lead? The journey continues next on Fox.
The United Airlines pregame show is brought to you by the people of United Airlines. We are united.
A special moment before the start of game number 2 of this World Series. Right now, let's join public address announcer Jeff Munn.
Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America with the singing of America the Beautiful, please welcome the man and his soul, Mr. Ray Charles.
Liberating strife, who more than self their country love, and mercy morning light. What I'm saying about the this America, sweet America, may God thy glorify, till all success be nobleness, and every gain divine. And you know, when I was a little boy, I remember we always sang these words. Oh, beautiful, far spacious sky, far amber waves of grain, far purple mountain majesty. Wait a minute. Save me brotherhood from sea to shining sea. You know, I wish I had y'all to help me sing this thing here. Go ahead. America. Oh, yes, he did. You ought to love him for it, 'cause he cried out good. He told me what? Save me brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Lord, let Jesus light down. I wanna thank you, Lord. Let me thank you, Lord.
I'm Miss Fix It, do it right 100% of the time, all the time. I fix them, they fly them. 747s, 777s, 757s. Once I get the aircraft down, it's customer service, ramp, cargo, in-flight. That's how you become a team. We want the customers to feel comfortable. We want them to come back. We want them to feel that they're taken care of. And then you guys are off and flying. Point A to point B, no problems, no ifs, ands, or buts. You there? We are united.
Fox Monday. From Emmy-winning creator David E. Kelley comes two of television's most anticipated premieres. First,
you want to throw away a six-figure income job to be a minimum wage babysitter.
There have been other...
United Airlines pregame show is brought to you by the people of United Airlines. We are united.
Jr., Tony Gwynn, and Barry Bonds. Tonight, I'm privileged to present the award to a player who in his great career has set numerous important major league records. Rickey Henderson broke Lou Brock's record for most career stolen bases 10 years ago. This year, he broke Babe Ruth's record for most walks and Ty Cobb's mark for most runs scored. In addition, Rickey this past season became the 25th player in the history of our game to reach 3,000 hits. Congratulations, Rickey.
Thanks, Bud, for this award. I'd like to honor this award to my teammates because I don't think I could achieve all the records, all the goals that I have achieved in baseball without my teammates. I also want to thank the fans for their support because baseball would not be the greatest game in America without baseball greatest fans of America. God bless America. Thank you.
And now, throwing out tonight's ceremonial first pitch, Rickey Henderson.
And now welcome to the broadcast booth, Joe Buck. In World Series, there's a big 6'10" guy in the middle of the field for the Diamondbacks. Surrounding him is defense. We'll tell you about them in a moment. Right now, the starting lineup for the New York Yankees brought to you by Budweiser. Chuck Knobloch will lead it off in left field. Then it's Randy Velarde batting in the number 2 spot at first base. Derek Jeter hits third tonight. He's the shortstop. Bernie Williams cleans up. Nothing new there. Jorge Posada moves up to the number 5 position. Then it's Shane Spencer starting in right field, batting 6th. Alfonso Soriano hitting 7th. Scott Brocious bats 8th, and Andy Pettitte pitching and batting 9th for New York. And then there's Randy Johnson, a 21-game winner during the regular season. And so far in this postseason, 2-1 with a fantastic ERA.
And vying to win his 4th Cy Young Award, and he could do it this year. He led the National League in earned run average with a 2.49 mark. He's 2-0 against the Yankees. He beat the Yankees when he was with the Seattle Mariners in 1995 in the divisional series.
Around him defensively, there's only one change, and that's Danny Bautista out in center field tonight as Steve Finley, because Pettitte's making the start for the Yankees, takes a seat on the bench. Otherwise, it's Gonzalez and Sanders flanking Danny Bautista, with Williams, Womack, Counsell, Grace on the infield. Damian Miller catching Randy Johnson. One thing Randy Johnson will do tonight is slow himself down. Something he is conscious of. He is trying to make sure that he doesn't rush his pitches to the plate. His pace will be slower than normal. This broadcast also available in Spanish by utilizing the SAP button on your television as Randy Johnson makes his first World Series start. The first of the night to Knobloch. Strike 1. Hitless last night, a .250 hitter during the regular season. Strike 2.
93-mile-an-hour fastball. He has a very good slider. Randy Velarde on deck. He'll play first base tonight. You mentioned the slowing down of Randy Johnson. Nobody has helped Johnson more this year than Curt Schilling, his teammate.
One ball, 2 strikes. There's Curt Schilling. It's kind of 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon with Roger Clemens at the top of the pyramid, with how Clemens has influenced so many involved in this series. A 1-2. Got it.
After 3 fastballs, the slider gets Knobloch. 372 strikeouts for Randy Johnson. 3rd all-time behind Nolan Ryan and Sandy Koufax in a year.
Brings in Randy Velarde. 20 out of 46 lifetime against Randy Johnson, a .435 average. And he has had some postseason success against Randy Johnson as Tino Martinez hangs over the railing in front of the Yankee dugout. Ball 1. Velarde is the one who got the go-ahead RBI hit in the top of the 11th Game 5 of the division series in 1995 in Seattle, which set up the 2-run hit by Edgar Martinez in really what is still considered the most thrilling moment in Seattle Mariners baseball history. Not much of a swing. Randy Johnson. Mark Grace was pleased to get a 102-mile-an-hour fastball on the other end of that. 2 out.
2 check swings by the Yankees so far. One by Knobloch, who didn't make contact, and meet contact by Velarde. And there's that 102-mile-an-hour fastball to Grace. Might be his best fastball of the night.
So Velarde in there because of his history against Randy Johnson, and like we talked about last night, you can have had success against Randy Johnson or against Curt Schilling, but at this stage in each pitcher's career, these are different pitchers than these Yankees have faced in years gone by.
No question about it.
2 out, nobody on. Derek Jeter at the plate, batting in the number 3 spot. He is in a prolonged slump. With his work in the ALCS and his work last night, he is only 2 for his last 20. 2 out, nobody on, no balls, 1 strike on Derek Jeter. That's foul. We talked about Roger Clemens a bit earlier. Clemens has influenced Schilling. Schilling has influenced Johnson. Clemens has influenced Andy Pettitte. And Pettitte will be on the mound tonight for the Yankees. Clemens will start game 3 in New York on Tuesday night. The ball and 2 strikes. 97 miles per hour.
And it's deceptive because Randy Johnson is 6'10". He appears to release the ball and does release the ball a lot farther out than most pitchers. And for that reason, 97 seems like 107.
Two and 2. You can see 95 miles per hour at the top of your screen in the Fox box. The count 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out in the inning. We're in the top of the first. Nobody on base. Top left-hand corner of your screen, and we are just underway, no score. Knobloch struck out. Velarde bounced back to Johnson. And it's a 2-2 count on Jeter.
Randy Johnson, a very difficult pitcher to break out of a 2-for-20 slump. Derek Jeter only 2 for 17 against Seattle in the American League Championship Series. 0 for 3 last night. Got his hands full here.
Another 2-2 pitch. Foul tip, struck him out. And a perfect first inning for Randy Johnson.
Nice car. What is it?
Well, it's my new Kia Optima.
Should have got a Toyota Camry. I got leather seats.
Me too.
Yeah, moonroof?
Yeah.
V6 engine?
With Sportmatic transmission.
5-year warranty.
Oh, no.
Ha!
10-year. And I got $2,000 cash back, which means I paid $7 grand less than you.
Hurry in and get $2,000 cash back on the 2001 Kia Optima, now through October 31st.
Dual front seat mounted side airbags?
Got it!
This is Will Burns. You've reached my cell phone. Leave me a message, and I'll call you back.
Will, it's Gail. I can't believe you're not answering your phone. Look, get back here. The client changed their mind. They actually like the work. All we have to do is show the plans to one more group, and the job is ours. Call me before it's too late.
With ordinary cell phones, you leave messages. But with Nextel Direct Connect, the digital two-way radio, you get right through.
Hank Aaron said, I looked at all those people standing and clapping, and I don't think I'd ever felt so good in all my life.
Willie Mays said, I want to make sure each fan that came out would see something different I did each day.
Roberto Clemente said, I believe we owe something to the people who watch us.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Gracias. Thank you, fans.
Andy Pettitte has his hands full here tonight, matched up against Randy Johnson. Here's the starting lineup for the Arizona Diamondbacks, brought to you by Budweiser. They lead it off with Tony Womack, the shortstop. Craig Counsell bats second at second. Then it's Luis Gonzalez hitting third. Reggie Sanders, the cleanup hitter. Danny Bautista is batting fifth, with Matt Williams hitting sixth. The number 7 hitters, Mark Grace, Damian Miller, then Randy Johnson, who was 8 out of 80 swinging the bat during the regular season. And here's Andy Pettitte, a 15-game winner during the regular season. In the postseason, he's usually A little different story. This guy has been automatic. The Yankees have won 11 of his last 12 postseason starts. The Yankees are 17-5 when he has started a postseason game. As we've mentioned, Tim, on the road in 3 World Series starts. He's 2-0 with an ERA of 0.
That's over 22 2/3 innings.
The 0-1 to Tony Womack. The bunt. Pettit falling away from first. Good play to get him 1 out.
We have had 4 hitters hit tonight, and we've had the ball travel about 60 feet. The check swing by Velarde, and now the bunt by Womack. Andy Pettit off balance, and a fine throw to just get Tony Womack. Pettit, a different pitcher, obviously, than Randy Johnson. Of course, every pitcher is. Andy Pettit, for the most part, tries to make the hitter put the ball in play. Johnson tries to miss the bat.
When you look at the starting lineup for Bob Brenly's Diamondbacks, he starts it with 3 left-handed batters in the top 3 spots. This is a different Andy Pettit against left-handed batters than he was, let's say, in 1996, 97, or 98.
That's because he's coming inside the left-handers more.
That's on the outside corner to Counsell, strike 1. Counsell homered in the first inning last night to tie the game 1-1. And then the Diamondbacks went on to score 8 more. Time called prior to the pitch. Like Clemens, just peeking out from under the bill of the cap. With that stare into his catcher Posada. And the 0-1 pitch. High heat, got it by him, 91 miles an hour. It's 0-2.
Andy Pettit has even taken up the regimen of Roger Clemens, working out with Clemens in the offseason. His endurance this year, says Andy, has been better than at any other time in his career.
And 0-2. Counsell could not lay off. The pitch is up and out of the strike zone, 2 out. And we give you a look at the Yankee defense. With Knobloch, Williams, and Spencer in the outfield, Brocious, Jeter, Soriano, and Velarde at first. Jorge Posada doing the catching for Andy Pettit. So with 2 out, nobody on, the batter will be Luis Gonzalez. Strike 1, and Pettit's throwing hard here in the first inning.
We have not seen a lot of healthy cuts up to that point. Gonzalez perhaps with the best swing of either side.
Gonzalez with that open stance, closes in on the ball with a pitch. Takes a strike, and it's 0-2.
That was that inside fastball. He went up the ladder on Craig Counsell on the 0-2 pitch. Watch the check swing. 5 hitters, 3 check swings.
Now an 0-2 to Gonzalez. How about this start? 2 strikeouts for Johnson, 2 strikeouts for Pettit. Second inning, game 2. No score.
You know, since we graduated, about 80% of us stayed within a 100-mile radius of each other. It's family love. 70% of us got married, some of us twice. There are 5 of us who are no longer with us. 3 of us came out, and 67% of you had the guts to show up here tonight. Give yourselves a hand. Class of 76.
Discover the most amazing digital music and video with the Intel Pentium 4 processor, the center of your digital world.
Dear
Kurt. How is training camp? Are you getting along with the other boys? This new chunky soup will fill you up right after a fun-filled day. No! New chunky beef rib roast with potatoes is loaded with lean chunks of savory rib roast for a taste of home while you're away. Lights out! I miss you, Pumpkin. Love, Mom.
You all right, Kurt?
Yeah, I'm okay. New Campbell's Chunky Homestyle Classics.
Like Mom used to make. Shrek is coming to home video and DVD on November...
November what?
I can almost remember.
It's on the tip of your tongue, right?
Well, not exactly.
Oh, November 2nd.
Buy Shrek on video this Friday.
What else you got in there?
Why do I rent from Enterprise? For more cargo room. More people room. Or more headroom. Enterprise. So easy, it's like having a second car. Or third.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Radio Shack is the place most people go for specialty batteries for all kinds of things. Choose from over 1,000 batteries. Radio Shack has more power. Radio Shack.
The World Series on Fox, presented by Budweiser, is brought to you by the people of United Airlines. We are united. By the Intel Pentium 4 processor, the center of your digital world. And by Budweiser, with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. This Bud's for you.
The 4, 5, and 6 hitters for New York: Bernie Williams, Jorge Posada, and Shane Spencer against Randy Johnson, who had lost 7 consecutive postseason starts leading into the NLCS, but he won Game 1. He won the clinching Game 5 with 7 strong innings. And here he is starting Game 2 after Curt Schilling shut down the Yankees for 7 innings last night. Each side went in order. Williams a hit, an RBI in last night's game. He takes high for ball 1. Not only a concerted effort, Tim, during the action for Randy Johnson during the half inning when he's pitching, but even warming up prior to the half inning. That's true. Randy Johnson is just taking his own sweet time before getting back up top and bringing another pitch.
A lot of deep breaths and another check swing by Yankee batters. 3 in the first inning, and now Bernie Williams to lead off the second.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Slider for a strike, and it's 1-2. We used to just be able to say fastball slider with Randy Johnson, but that split fingered pitch makes it tougher on you analysts.
Hasn't thrown it yet, but he mixes in about 10 or 12 a game.
Two strikeouts so far for Randy Johnson. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jorge Posada waits to hit next. 12th postseason start for Johnson, first in the World Series. And it's 2-2. Too far inside, full count.
Randy Johnson has hit 18 batters this year. It's part of his arsenal. You talk to hitters, they characterize him as terrifying, menacing, words like that. Nothing comfortable said about Randy Johnson by opposing hitters.
Had a moth land on his uniform top.
Yeah, but it left in a hurry.
He brushed the moth off, and now his 3-2 pitch to Williams. Got him on away.
My goodness. Bernie Williams said no, it was not. A 3-2 slider. Williams probably looking for the fastball. Ball could have been low, but appeared to be high enough. 3 strikeouts now for Randy Johnson, and 1 check swing by Randy Velarde.
And Joe Torre is yelling out at Mark Hirschbeck, the home plate umpire, saying that ball was too low. 1 out, nobody on for Posada. Had a hit last night, hitting .343 in the postseason. And a ball up and in from Randy Johnson. That look from a manager who has a 16-4 record during World Series play with this group. They lost the first 2 games back in '96 at home to Atlanta, then won the next 4. They ended up losing game 3 of last year's World Series to the Mets, and they lost here last night. That's it. That's too far outside. 2 balls and a strike.
Johnson wanted that fastball, showing his disgust. You can see Damian Miller sitting outside, and the pitch was outside. Good call by Mark Hirschbeck.
So a 2-ball, 1-strike count. 2-2. Shane Spencer next. And this crowd will crank it up, expecting to see strikeout number 4 on the night. Number 4.
In the first inning, this is what happened to Yankee hitters. Chuck Knobloch, check swing. Randy Velarde, check swing. Derek Jeter, check swing.
We've seen back-to-back strikeouts since then. 4 on the night for Randy Johnson, and Shane Spencer will dig in. Shane Spencer, who spent 8.5 years in the minor leagues before bursting onto the big league scene back in '98 with 8 September home runs and 10 down the stretch for that World Championship team. Gets a start against Randy Johnson, took a slider for a strike, and it's 0-1. To the third baseman, Williams gets the high hop, and Randy Johnson perfect through 2. Now it's Andy Pettit's turn to try to answer that. Bottom of the second in the desert, no score.
Great night for a swim.
I don't have my bathing suit.
That's okay. Neither do I. Look at the moon. What could possibly make this moment more perfect?
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
I just called to ask, how are the kids? And she flowers the kids.
But if I heard right, then you'd come home and say, why didn't you flower my kids?
Am I here right now? This is just me.
No, ma'am. It's the static on your cell phone. Here, Sprint PCS built the only all-digital, all-PCS nationwide network. So your calls are clear.
So no more of this, right?
Not on my watch, ma'am.
2,500 minutes for $39.99 from Sprint PCS.
You go fishing every weekend, right? And you never catch a thing.
It's not a
bad
Ottoman!
What is going on?
Armoire! Furniture, why is there furniture? Chafing dish! Chafing dish!
I thought I told you to strap everything down.
Coffee table.
Morning commute.
Couch.
On the wings of Goodyear.
The World Series on Fox, presented by Budweiser, is brought to you by the AIG Company, world leaders in insurance and financial services. By Goodyear, reminding you to take all your journeys on the wings of Goodyear. And by MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
Welcome back. Bottom of the second inning. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. It's getting to be that time of year.
Halloween only 3 days away.
Reggie Sanders will lead it off for Arizona in the bottom of the second. Andy Pettitte threw 8 pitches in the first inning. They were all strikes. Sanders last night 2 out of 3. Pettitte looks like he's brought his good stuff here in the early going. Strike 1 on Reggie Sanders.
I think with both pitchers, both managers are thinking with the way they're throwing, both Pettitte and Johnson, if you do get somebody on with nobody out, play for 1 run. Normally you don't bunt early in the game, but I think Joe Torre and Bob Brenly are thinking about that right now if they get in that situation.
Andy Pettitte, his 23rd career postseason start. That's the first one out of the strike zone for the night. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Because of that cut fastball that's down and in to right-handed batters, the left side of the infield must be ready. That means Brocious and Jeter. Pettitte mixing his pitches better. We talked about it earlier, and he slams the door on the running game. 49 pickoffs since 1996, the most in the majors.
Cutter in on Sanders in the count 1-2.
Yeah, if you hit that ball well, that pitch right there, if you hit it well, you're going to ground it to the left side. Posada setting up inside. Sanders swings through it.
So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now Posada sets up away. And Pettitte misses away. 2-2. Danny Batista waits on deck, then Matt Williams. So Andy Pettitte took care of the 3 left-handed batters in the first inning. Womack tried to bunt his way on. Pettitte made the play, and then strikeouts of both Counsell and Gonzalez. Now the first right-hander that Pettitte faces, and Sanders does ground it to the left side, base hit. Reggie Sanders now 3 out of 4 in this World Series.
Sometimes it's because a hitter does not hit it hard that he gets to first. High chopper. Jeter had no choice, not with the fleet-footed Sanders. And now we'll see what Bob Brenly does with his base runners. You're not going to run off Pettitte. Sanders with 14 stolen bases on the year, but Pettitte with a devastating pickoff move.
Only 16 times during the regular season did opponents try to steal against Andy Pettitte. Into right center field, off the bat of Batista and all the way to the wall. Sanders motoring around third. They bring him to the plate. Soriano's throw late, 1-0 Arizona.
Rifled into right center field by Batista. Chris Spire, the third base coach, who was interesting. He had his left hand holding Batista at second base and the right hand waving Sanders around. But because the throw was home, now look at Batista. Chris Spire had the left hand out and the right hand in that windmill motion. There was a play at third base, and Soriano opted to go there.
Now the infield will come in with Danny Batista at third and nobody out. Matt Williams at the plate. Runner holds. Brocious takes care of Williams, 1 away. So Danny Batista, 29-year-old outfielder who has bounced around in his career, Detroit, Atlanta, Florida, now Arizona. First full year in Arizona, gets his first World Series at bat and lines an RBI double, and that's what they're calling it, a double into right center field. Now it's Mark Grace. Infield still in, runner at third, 1 out.
I think that accentuates the point that Soriano did have a play. on Batista had he opted to go to third base. But the throw home allowed Batista to go to third easily.
You're not going to get many chances to score. Bob Brentley knows that.
Send him! Send him!
Now a chance for another. It's up to the veteran Grace. Soriano juggles it, throws home, out for the second out of the inning. Alfonso Soriano, who was switched to second base late in spring training, playing in, took care of the ground ball, juggled it a bit, but made a strong throw for the out.
The reason the throw was strong is Soriano has a shortstop's arm at second base. He broke in as a shortstop and can afford to juggle a ball like this and still recover in time to get his man at home. So Joe Torre, because Randy Johnson is pitching, has had the infield in twice, and it has worked.
So now it's a runner at first base with 2 out. Damian Miller at the plate. Strike 1. Damian Miller last night had a couple of hits and RBI. His first RBI of this postseason. So Randy Johnson has a lead. The Diamondbacks right now missing an opportunity to add to that lead, and Damian Miller grounds to Brocious. The easy way to end the inning. So the Diamondbacks get 1. Had a runner at third with nobody out. Williams Grace could not bring him home after 2. 1-0 Arizona.
U.S. Atlas, $20.
I can't see their faces, only the shadows of their eyes.
Scorebooks, stickers, schedules, $90.
I'm going where the sun keeps shining through the pouring rain. Going
A used tire, some new wipers, $68.
Banking off of the northeast wind.
Stamps and postcards, $15.
Skipping over the ocean like a stone.
1 summer, 2 friends, 30 stadiums, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Preferred card and devoted fan of Major League Baseball.
Let's get this party started.
Eddie Murphy in Dr. Dolittle 2. It's twice the fun of the original.
This is good news.
Get more laughs.
You sure you just had ice cream?
With Dr. Dolittle 2 on video and DVD. Buy it today at a great low price.
What a deal.
Wine should be for drinking and enjoying, not stressing over. That's why there's Woodbridge. An easy choice because it always tastes great. Handcrafted and aged in oak barrels for more flavor. Woodbridge. It's all you need to know about great wine.
Right, I know. Cash only.
The all-new A4. Suddenly, every ride's exciting.
Tomorrow on the best damn sports show, period. Shaq drops by to mix it up with the gang as they take you places no other show dares to go.
You're a sexy man. You look good.
What more could you want from a sports show?
Temptation 2 premieres Wednesday, November 7th on Fox.
Well, joining us here tonight, some of the best of NASCAR racing. Winston Cup drivers Dale Jarrett, pictured here. Tony Stewart, Kevin Harvick are taking in the game, and we'll be back right here for the rest of the Winston Cup Tour Sunday, February 24th, when NASCAR on Fox returns live from Rockingham. That's Sunday, February 24th, right here on Fox. And now it's Alfonso Soriano. Made a good defensive play to keep it a 1-0 game. That's what it is. Arizona on top. Soriano, Brocious, and Pettit coming up. So far, no base runners. for the Yankees, and not much in the way of contact. Strike one to Soriano.
Normally, Bob Brenly would not have sent the runner in from third with the infield in, but with the bottom of the order coming up, Brenly considered it a good chance, and it's good baseball to do that.
1 ball, 1 strike on Soriano. Reggie Sanders with a base hit, an infield hit, scoring on the RBI double by Batista. And we talked about this earlier in the postseason. Bob Brenly has said that Batista's kind of been his good luck charm. Every time he puts him in the lineup, he either makes a big catch, he makes a big throw, he gets a big hit. The way Randy Johnson is pitching, that hit, that run might stand up for a while. As the count goes to 3-1 on Alfonso Soriano.
This is the first time, the 7th hitter for the Yankees, that a hitter knows what's coming. Alfonso Soriano knows he's going to get the fastball right here.
And he fouls it back. 94 miles per hour. And it's a full count. .372 strikeouts during the regular season. 4 tonight in the World Series, and now 5.
If he keeps throwing like this, nobody's going to get a hit. About as overpowering as you can be, and that's what we talked about earlier. 372 strikeouts, as Joe was saying, third behind Nolan Ryan, who struck out 383 in 73, and Sandy Koufax in 65.
Now it's Brocious, the number 8 hitter. Not hitting anything this postseason for the Yankees, only 139. And these could very well be his final days in the Yankee uniform. A free agent at the end of the season. Came into last night's game a career .391 hitter in World Series play. 98 World Series MVP, and the count 1-1.
That was an 86-mile-an-hour splitter, the first split finger fastball that Johnson has thrown, and did it ever dive out of the strike zone.
Bob Brenly will tell you, even if it doesn't dive, at least it acts as a changeup. A 1-1 off the end of the bat, strike 2. You get the feeling we might be digging into history books here before the end of the night.
We're talking between innings about the stuff he has shown so far.
Off the hands, a defensive swing, and the count still 1-2.
Randy using the glove, pointing to himself, saying, "My fault. That was a hanger." Really the worst pitch that Randy Johnson has thrown so far. Got under the slider.
A 1-0 Arizona lead. 1 out, nobody on here in the 3rd inning. 2 out. Used to be just fastball slider for Randy Johnson. Now it's fastball slider splitter. Here's Randy Johnson talking about the split fingered pitch.
It's great when I have a good slider and a good fastball on the same day, but some days I may only have a good fastball. My slider's just not quite there, so it's easy for a hitter to sit on my fastball and just let my slider go by it. But now if I can throw my fourth ball or split or whatever they want to call it, and I can throw it for strikes, and maybe throw it 5 or 6 times in the game, at least I have a hitter going back to the dugout saying, hey, he's throwing something different.
The unenviable task for Andy Pettitte. Throws left, bats left, has 1 career hit to his credit, matching up against Randy Johnson. The ball has not left the infield, and Johnson is 1 pitch away from strikeout number 7.
terrifying stuff. My goodness.
Struck out the side. He got Soriano. He got Brocious. And he gets Pettit. Bottom of the third, 1-0 Arizona.
Find the seams. It's the splitter. No, it's the high heat. Did I lock my keys in the car? Is that Sosa? Going for my Pepsi. Sammy.
The 1-liter Big Slam from Pepsi. More of the taste you go for.
Here it comes. Cool Blue Mach 3. 3 blades for the closest shave in fewer strokes with less irritation. Now with a cool look. Cool Blue Mach 3 from Gillette. The best a man can get.
Swordfish. Buy it on video October 30th.
Best crackers in the world can do this in 60 minutes.
Get the password.
I need in 60 seconds.
To action.
3, more time, 2, 1.
Not everything ends the way you think it should.
Swordfish. Buy it October 30th on video, cassette, and DVD.
This way. You're not going to believe this.
What was stolen?
Everything. Payroll, R&D, customer records, all the assets.
How could they get everything?
I don't know. You're the cops.
The room is completely empty. All the assets were in this room?
Everything. Ned, the servers. They stole all our servers.
No, we moved everything onto that one. It's going to save us a bundle. I sent out an email.
IBM e-servers running Linux.
What's a server?
They can save you a bundle.
Get ready for the new season of Ally McBeal.
Maybe it's just the freakish women who are drawn to me.
Are you just being sensitive now?
Hello! Is this seat taken?
With a surprise around every corner.
Good morning, Your Honor. How are you today?
You lose. Next case.
Ally McBeal season premiere at 9/8 Central tomorrow on Fox.
Gillette Mach 3 presents Close Plays of the Year. The Indians' Jim Tomei tries to score from second, but it'll be quite a reach to beat Bobby Higginson's throw.
Higginson with a terrific throw to the plate. Tomei sliding in, touching home plate with a left hand.
Pick up the specially marked Mach 3 pack with the free limited edition watch. Look inside for your game piece and tune in to Game 3 of the World Series on Fox to see if you've won a trip to a game of the 2002 World Series. Randy Johnson will lead it off. Few people know that when Randy Johnson pitched in Seattle, he made a little extra money on the side by getting to know, Tim, the fans that came to the Kingdome at that time to cheer for him. Did you know that?
I did.
Oh, okay. In the postseason, 0 for 8 during the regular season, 8 for 80. He throws left, he bats right. He is the anti-Eddie Goodell.
Let it suffice that he throws left.
He swings right.
Swings right. 8 for 80 on the season.
No balls, 2 strikes.
When you're Randy Johnson, you don't care about your hitting. You care about your at-bats. And usually, he gets 3 or 4 at-bats a game, which means he pitches deep into the game.
Exposes that left arm as he hangs over the plate. Although it's protected by that thing on his elbow. He'll need a new bat next time. And he's 0 for 1. Randy Johnson and his days in Seattle. Little extra side
just
money.
getting away from him.
A lot of people wonder what pitchers do when they're not playing. I, for example, have a paper route. Obviously, it's not for the money. I guess I just like people.
The lovable Randy Johnson. Unless you're in the batter's box trying to get a hit against him. 1 out, nobody on here in the 3rd inning, and Tony Womack steps to the plate. Tried to bunt his way on his first time up, and Pettit made a good play off the mound to get him. Hitting only .214 in this postseason. Still has one of the more thrilling swings for the Diamondbacks in this tournament back in the division series. Game 5, the 9th inning flare into left center field to bring home Danny Batista and propel the Diamondbacks into the NLCS.
His only RBI in postseason.
A 1-1 on the outside corner, 1-2.
Right on the corner for Pettit.
On 1-2. Womack laid off. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on with Counsell on deck. Little pop up, Brocious just out of his reach. Take your pick. Who's more fierce? The matchup of tonight's game. Pettit peering out from under the bill of his cap, or does the look of Randy Johnson intimidate you more? I'm asking you.
I think both. I know that. I think both.
It's not the glare of Johnson. It's him basically handing the ball to the catcher when he's on the mound. It's Pettit's stare, and it's Pettit's pitch that strikes out Womack. 2 gone.
Well, you saw 2 swings by Tony Womack, the foul ball, and now this one. And this is a result of Andy Pettit coming inside. Andy didn't do that the first 3 years he pitched, and a left-handed hitter has got to have the fear of a left-hander coming inside to be effective.
Counsell had some terrible swings against Pettit back in the first inning, eventually struck out. Pettit has had no trouble with the left-handed batters. Womack, Counsell, Gonzalez, Grace. The back-to-back right-handers got him in the 2nd inning. A hit by Sanders, an infield hit, and an RBI double by Danny Batista into right center field. Took 3rd on the throw to the plate. Here's an 0-1 to Craig Counsell. 0-2. The Yankees in the 4th inning will have the top of the order. Knobloch, Velarde, and Derek Jeter. If anybody gets on, Bernie Williams. Pettit has struck out 3. And his 0-2. He has made Counsell look bad tonight. 4 strikeouts, a perfect 3rd inning for Andy Pettit. Now the top of the order in the 4th. 1-0 Arizona.
Then I had that taste. The new grilled sourdough bacon cheeseburger at Burger King. Now I'm a believer. With grilled sourdough bread. Not a trace of doubt in my mind. A 1/4 pound of flame broiled beef. I'm in love. Ooh. 2 slices of melted Swiss cheese. 4 strips of bacon. The new grilled sourdough bacon cheeseburger will make you a believer. Now for a limited time at Burger King. Shrek, the biggest movie of the year. Available November 2nd wherever videos are sold.
Troy, I know you got out for a reason. You're worried about getting hurt. But it's a year later. I really think it's time. If you don't get back in, you're going to regret it. Remember what I told you. Think mutual funds. Stay diversified.
Any tax implications?
Wouldn't it be great if the person you trust most was your broker?
Is there a healthcare fund that looks attractive?
At Schwab, our mutual fund advice is always objective, uncomplicated, and not driven by commission. Call 1-800-4NO-LOAD to find out which fund is right for you.
You're looking for one person. One person who can point to solutions instead of pointing fingers. I'm Dell Enterprise, servers, storage, and premier services. And when they build me, they build a central knowledge base. So I not only have one person with all the answers, I have thousands. Premier Enterprise Services. Total accountability on site, online, and on the phone. Easy as Dell. Dell PowerEdge servers use Intel Pentium 3 Xeon processors.
for the people that I call my friends. We're just getting started when the long day ends. This bud's for you. And you and you and you. This bud's for you.
The World Series on Fox is presented by Budweiser. Budweiser, with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. This Bud's for you.
Fox tomorrow. Don't miss two of the most eagerly anticipated premieres of the year. From Emmy Award-winning David E. Kelley, it's the season premieres of Boston Public and Ally McBeal. It all starts tomorrow at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here on Fox. We go to the fourth inning, 1-0 Arizona, and we have already hit the history books and come up with a stat. As Randy Johnson brings it, Chuck Knobloch gets it in the air into left field. Got under it, and Gonzalez waits for it. 1 out. This is only the third time in World Series history that a pitcher has had 7 strikeouts through 3 innings pitched. Bob Gibson in 1968. Game 1. El Duque for the Yankees in '99, Game 1.
Bob with the all-time record of 17 strikeouts against the Detroit Tigers in 1968.
1 out, nobody on for Velarde. Tapped one back to Johnson his first time up. So far in this postseason, 1 for 7. Spent 9 years with the Yankees before leaving after the '95 season. That '95 season, the Yankees got the division series, but lost to Seattle. Randy Johnson on the mound. Johnson was 2-0 in that division series against the Yankees, and then Buck Showalter was finished. Joe Torre entered, and this postseason run started in 1996. So Velarde is back, hoping to get that World Series ring. Again, he's staring out at Randy Johnson, and the count here 3-0.
First time that Randy Johnson has run a 3-0 count to a Yankee hitter.
A 4-pitch walk, and the Yankees have their first base runner of the night.
Let me count the ways of the 7 strikeouts. Check swing to Knobloch. Jeter on a foul tip. Bernie Williams called 3rd strike. Posada swinging. Soriano swinging. Brocious taking. Pettit taking.
Major league record with his strikeout ratio, but right now, after striking out 7 in the first 3 innings, he got Knobloch on a fly ball to left, walked Velarde, and here's Jeter. And there's ball 1, 5 in a row out of the strike zone from Randy Johnson. Jeter struck out his first time, 2 of his last 21. The Yankees, when they get the opportunity, plan on running against Randy Johnson.
Joe Torre telling us before the game he's got to get somebody on first.
He can't run from home plate.
No.
Got to get somebody on, and Velarde is on with a 1-out walk. To the left side, Womack to Counsell. 2 out. Velarde came in hot with that left foot up and no chance to turn 2.
Womack trying to get the ball out of the glove, and sometimes the second baseman becomes a first baseman, with Counsell stretching off the bag just like Mark Grace would do at first.
So now it's Jeter at first, and more of a running situation than it was with Velarde. Bernie Williams at the plate. Williams struck out looking on a pitch that he thought was low back in the 2nd inning.
Randy Johnson does not have a good move to first base. It's very readable.
Strike 1. We mentioned that opponents tried to steal 16 times against Andy Pettitte during the regular season. Over twice as many against Randy Johnson. 34 stolen base attempts. 1 ball, 1 strike. And then there's Derek Jeter, who I know you believe is, if not the best, one of the best base runners in the game.
Yeah, I think step for step, he's the best base runner in the game. He was tagged out, other than caught stealings last year, twice.
Too far inside, 2 balls and a strike on Williams.
In 160 games, tagged out at second, third, or home. His instincts are remarkable on the bases.
Is he running here with a count of 2-1?
He's on his own, says Joe Torre. If he gets a good jump, yes.
Not going, and strike 2. Not only not going, but rather stationary over at first base.
2 out, 2-2. Not a good base running situation. Because if the next pitch is a ball, then Jeter runs automatically.
Yankees still looking for their first hit. It's a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Bernie Williams with Jeter at first, 2 out. Runner goes, and the count stays 2-2.
There's some managers that will put a runner in motion like that. In my view right there, it's not the running situation unless the runner at first gets a good jump. And Jeter had one then.
Mazzillian behind Jeter talking to him. Now back into the coaching box. Time called at the plate.
With Randy Johnson throwing as hard as he has been throwing, the Yankees' best chance for a long ball is something down in the strike zone, not up.
Jeter stays put. Ball 3 on Bernie Williams. They appealed down to first, and Dale Scott said that Williams held up.
Can't tell about the height from that shot, but it did have a corner. And now Mark Grace is playing behind Jeter at first base.
Bernie Williams with 16 career postseason home runs. 3-2. 2-hopper to Womack. Inning over, and the Yankees still without a hit. They get their first base runner a walk, strand their first, and we go to the bottom of the 4th here at Bank One Ballpark. 1-0 Diamondbacks.
Which one do you think throws the most hellacious curveball?
This is Silverado Heavy Duty. The most powerful heavy-duty pickup you can get. Silverado Heavy Duty. More truck from Chevy.
Heartburn? Give me a cold one.
Introducing Tums Cool Relief with unique Friva crystals. It gives you an immediate cooling, soothing sensation in your mouth and throat. You can feel the chill while it knocks out heartburn fast.
I could really use a cold one.
New Tums Cool Relief with calcium. Feel the difference.
Before I quit smoking, I asked my doctor, is Nicorette safe? And he said, of course Nicorette is safe. Smoking is not. Nicorette has been proven safe and effective in dozens of clinical trials. And Nicorette offers the Committed Quitter Support Program, which my doc said is clinically proven to increase my chances of success by up to 50%. And when he told me that only Nicorette comes in mint and orange, I knew that that was the right choice for me. So I took my doctor's advice, and you know what? It worked.
You can do it. Nicorette can help.
This is probably a good time for a little vacation, get away from things. Little Hawaii, maybe Fort Lauderdale, San Diego, one of my favorite places. We go to Singapore, I'll make you laugh a little, sit back and enjoy yourself. Or of course, if you're into more of the arts, perhaps Italy, anywhere you want. Someplace just to get away, to enjoy yourself. Welcome to my house, welcome to my living room. Make yourself comfortable and don't worry about anything, we'll take care of it for you. We are united.
The students and teachers of Boston Public faced a lot of challenges this past year, but nothing can prepare them for her.
What is your relationship with Harry Sennett?
Why, are you prying or getting ready to ask me out?
Jerry Ryan joins the faculty of Boston Public tomorrow on Fox.
Luis Gonzalez first up for Arizona here in the fourth inning, 1-0. Diamondbacks on top. On the RBI double by Batista back in the second. Gonzalez, then Sanders, then Batista against Andy Pettitte. Did allow the run in the second inning, but did a terrific job of pitching to limit it to a one-run inning. Strike on the outside corner. Gonzalez hit .312 during the regular season against left-handed pitching. He is the number 3 hitter in this Arizona lineup. Doesn't matter who's on the mound. 1-1.
5 years ago, Andres Galarraga, who ended this season with the San Francisco Giants, opened his stance and had marvelous results. So has Luis Gonzalez.
1-2.
4 years ago, on the left, you can see Gonzalez not nearly as open with that right foot pointed toward first base as he is now.
2-2. A guy that if you asked Andres Galarraga who was the one who helped you open your stance, which led to Gonzalez doing it as well, as Don Baylor.
Yep.
Who was Andres' hitting coach in St. Louis and then his manager for those years in Colorado. 1 out. And Andy Pettitte rings up his 5th strikeout of the night.
Andy Pettitte's not throwing as hard as Randy Johnson, but almost as effectively. You can see the cut fastball on the outside part of the plate to get Gonzalez.
There's Laura Pettitte, Andy's wife, as Andy works with 1 out, nobody on here in the 4th inning. The next 2 guys responsible for the only offense of the night. Reggie Sanders with an infield hit, a bouncer to the left side that Jeter put in his pocket. And then Danny Batista with an RBI double into right center. That is all. And then Batista was standing at third with nobody out. Williams grounded out. Grace grounded into a fielder's choice and out at the plate. And Miller bounced out. Off the hands, a weak pop-up, and Velarde hauls it in, 2 out.
And once again, from Joe Torre's standpoint, from a strategic standpoint, it was the right thing to do. Torre realizing that the Yankees are not going to score a lot against Randy Johnson, so he pulled the infield in, and that saved at least 1 run.
With 2 out, nobody on, here's Batista. He came up with a big hit in the clinching Game 5 of the NLCS in Atlanta, and obviously has the only RBI tonight.
Last time up, a double to right center field. Scoring Reggie Sanders, the only run of the night.
career .294 hitter against Andy Pettitte takes the ball down and in.
Normally the grounds crew will come out after the 5th inning and drag the infield. I don't think they need to do that tonight.
They can work in the on-deck circle, the area in front of the dugout, the area outside of first base where hitters turn and go back to the dugout. That's it. Will pop up behind the plate. It'll get out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Some lonely baselines tonight.
So the Yankees, when they started this postseason run in '96, whether it's been Maddox and Glavine or Glavine and Smoltz, any combination of the top 3 for Atlanta, or Kevin Brown and Sterling Hitchcock, or Hampton and Leiter, whatever 1-2 punch you want to talk about the Yankees have had to face from '96 through 2001, it has never been like Schilling and Randy Johnson.
No. Not only with reputations and tradition, but pitching the best baseball of their careers.
For as good as the two were during the regular season and the postseason, they've been phenomenal. A 6-1 combined record with a 1.24 ERA and 4 complete games. Schilling has 3 of them. Combined 58 innings, 66 strikeouts. That's into tonight, and that's against the Cardinals, the Braves, and the Yankees last night. 1-2 pitch. Little pop up into right. Soriano. And the Diamondbacks go in order. All pitching so far tonight. 1 RBI. It belongs to Batista. 1-0 Diamondbacks after 4. Back after this from your local Fox station.
The first time they took you to the edge of temptation. This time, they'll take you beyond.
I don't know what he was doing, but it's not the guy I know.
Temptation 2 premieres Wednesday, November 7th on Fox.
They all laugh at Christopher Columbus when he said the world was round. They all laugh when Edison recalled.
So who is Motor Trend's 2002 Sport Utility of the Year? The GMC Envoy. Those who say America can't compete don't take test drives. We are professional grade.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Who's got the last laugh now?
There's one brand of truck strong enough to carry the American spirit. Chevrolet. And right now, get 0% financing on every new truck we build. 0% on Chevy Suburban. 0% on Chevy Tahoe. SUVs designed to give you all the power you need. And you can own one, interest-free. Keep America rolling. See your Colorado Chevy dealer today.
Hold on. We've got more prizes. For the student who sells the most candy, a weekend pass to Coastal Kingdom to get out there and sell that candy.
The Volkswagen Passat. It only looks like $1 million.
Randy Johnson trying to protect a 1-run lead, 1-0 Arizona. 5th inning, Posada, Spencer, Soriano against Johnson, who has struck out 7, walked 1, allowed no hits. And a slider slips into the strike zone for strike 1.
Slipped and swept. That sweeping slider that starts off the plate away and breaks late.
1 ball, 1 strike on Posada, who struck out his first time up. 38-year-old left-hander Randy Johnson. Following the 34-year-old Curt Schilling to the mound. He won game 1. Posada with the first hit of the night for the Yankees. Goes the other way. And New York has its leadoff man on. Prior to the game, hope you caught it, one of the great American artists, Ray Charles, sang America the Beautiful, and his reaction to the crowd's reaction for his rendition. So touched by what he heard from the fans here in Phoenix. We'll hear a little more from Ray Charles in a moment. Right now, with the tying run on and nobody out in the 5th inning, it's Shane Spencer. Posada with a 2-step lead back easily.
Not a running situation for the Yankees. Posada a slow runner at first base. Didn't want to hit and run against Randy Johnson anyway. It's too hard to put the ball in play on the ground.
Inside for ball 1. Soriano next. We talked in the open about the pitching situation for Arizona. Schilling in game 1, Johnson here in game 2, Brian Anderson in game 3. Good play by Miller to keep the ball at the plate. The plan is to throw Miguel Batista in game 4 unless the Diamondbacks are down 2-1, maybe even up 2-1. The only situation, at least in our opinion, and from talking to Curt Schilling, where Curt will not pitch is if Arizona's up 3-0.
Yeah, Bob Brenly is leaving that option open, obviously, but with Schilling throwing on only 102 pitches last night, if they're up 2-1, I think he starts on Wednesday night.
Here's a 2-0 pitch. Spencer pounds it foul down the left field line. Shane was waiting for that pitch. Got it, but pulled the trigger too soon.
Only the second predictable pitch that the Yankees have had to hit, because Johnson has been on top of all the hitters and Spencer out in front pulls it foul.
So now it's 2-1.
When a hitter goes from 2-0 to 2-2, the advantage goes back to the pitcher.
One out. They're loving it here in Phoenix. Ain't that love on our MasterCard fan cam from Ray Charles.
When you sigh, I want to sigh with you. When you cry, I want to cry some too. Now ain't that love? Oh, ain't that love that I feel in my heart for you? When your friends turn their back on you, I'll be here.
Some of the families in attendance here tonight. Game 2. Now it's Soriano, and that's strike 1. Pitch bearing down and in on the right-handed hitter. Soriano struck out his first time. A hit by Posada, a strikeout of Shane Spencer, who at one point had the count in his favor 2-0. Tying run at first, 1 out. Soriano behind on the count 0-1. 0-2.
Ray Charles should have been don't get around much anymore, the way Johnson's throwing.
Top of the 5th inning. Johnson in search of strikeout number 9. And Randy doing what we talked about early, slowing it down. Gets a new baseball. Takes his time between pitches. Now he's ready. Soriano with an awkward swing, but an effective swing to get a piece of that pitch. Still 0-2.
Sweeping slider off the plate. So Soriano fouled the fastball back to the right side and pulled the slider in off the plate to the left side.
Two out, strikeout number 9.
Up and away to Soriano. You have both sides of the plate to protect if you're a right-handed batter. With a ball coming in 95 miles an hour. The slider not that much slower.
Randy Johnson struck out 20 on May 8th here against Cincinnati. It was an 11-inning game. He was gone after 9 in an eventual 4-3 Arizona win. Brocious lifts one into left field. Gonzalez there. And we are halfway through game number 2 of the 2001 World Series. From the Diamondback side, so far a series dominated by Arizona pitching. Bottom of the 5th, 1-0, Diamondbacks.
After the 270 horsepower Chevy Trailblazer, everything else just seems kind of weak. The all-new Chevy Trailblazer, like a rock.
Good plan. How'd you figure it out?
I tried to imagine a fellow smarter than myself, and then I tried to think, what would he do?
I need you to suit up. What was the deal?
Well, the deal was we get away with the gold.
And then what?
We slip away.
You slip away?
Plan has changed.
Where's the gold?
In the heart of the pure.
You can't run.
Go, go, go.
No, they'll hunt you down.
Gene Hackman, Danny DeVito, in a film by David Mamet.
You want to run the show? Come on!
Heist.
Joe!
Rated R. Starts November 9th.
Honey, would you relax? The market always comes back.
Yeah, but it's our safety net. You don't screw around with that. You can't just...
Wait a minute. Do you think that this is easy for me? Do you know the pressure I'm under? Do you know how much college is going to cost by the time we...
Honey, that's my point. What if something happens to you? You know? Where would that leave me and the kids? You ever think about that?
The World Series on Fox, presented by Budweiser, is brought to you by John Hancock, official sponsor of Major League Baseball, by NASDAQ, and by Warner Brothers' new motion picture Heist in theaters everywhere starting Friday, November 9th.
Welcome back to Phoenix. In the 70s at the start of tonight's game. Up in the 90s during the day. Yesterday, as we mentioned, here in the desert, a record high of 98 degrees. It's Sunday, October 28th. It's game 2 of the 2001 World Series, and it's Matt Williams leading off for Arizona in the bottom of the 5th. The Diamondbacks up 1-0.
Desert air, Joe. You'd think the ball would be carrying, but nobody knows. the Yankees have hit 2 balls out of the infield, both fly ball outs. And the Diamondbacks, meanwhile, have hit 1 ball out of the infield. That was a double to right center by Batista to drive in the only run of the game.
No balls, 1 strike on Matt Williams, who missed an RBI chance his first time up. Bounced out to third with a runner at third. This time he's on with a leadoff hit. 3rd hit of the night for Arizona.
A real hanger from Andy Pettitte, right around the letters. Not a lot on it. And Matt Williams with a leadoff single here. Interesting situation with Grace up there batting 7th. I don't think Bob Brenly would opt for the bunt right here. Not with the catcher and pitcher coming up. It's a good time to hit and run.
Grace takes a strike.
The thing about Pettitte, you don't want to get too far off of first base because of that move. So you have to wait. One of the side effects of his good move, he doesn't allow runners to get down on top of a second baseman or shortstop to get rid of the double play ball. Tiny lead.
Williams almost surprised that Pettitte threw over, and Williams was scrambling to get back.
There have been a lot of guys scrambling to get back to first since Andy Pettitte's rookie year in 1995. Best move in the game right there.
The 0-1 to Grace. Tried to hold up, could not. 0-2.
So with 2 strikes on Mark Grace, for the most part, unless it goes 3-2, you're not going to send the runner.
See from that replay that Mark Grace had his back foot actually out of the batter's box. Grace strikes out, and Andy Pettitte made 3 terrific pitches to get his 6th strikeout of the night.
Boy, we have seen some funky swings tonight. These are major league hitters, folks, and they are not having good swings against both pitchers.
So now it's Damian Miller who's 0 for 1 with a pitcher Randy Johnson on deck as Pettitte tries to work around a leadoff hit by Matt Williams. And he throws over. Williams, who had a small lead his first time, now has, what do you give him, 7, 8-inch lead?
He was off about a foot when Andy Pettitte threw over there the last time.
One on, one out. Miller takes a strike over the outside corner.
Not only is the lead short, but you can see Matt Williams kind of leaning back toward first base. Almost softball rules with Andy Pettitte on the mound.
Pettitte making his 7th World Series start. Has a World Series high 6 strikeouts. We're only in the 5th inning. And he's on his way to another as he runs into 0-2 on Damian Miller. The 0-2 to third, to second, to first. 5-4-3 double play to end the 5th inning. We go to the 6th. The Yankees will have Pettitte to start it. They trail 1-0.
World champion surfer Sonny Garcia drops into a 32-footer at Pismo and never leaves the beach. The Honda Sport Trax 400EX, America's favorite sport ATV.
What? That's it? Just like that? We're breaking up.
Well, we were never going out.
This Friday, the world's most shallow man will be given the gift to see women in a whole new way.
From this moment on, you're only going to see the inner beauty.
You see that little fox out there? She's with me. Oh!
You want to see a splash?
Gwyneth Paltrow, Jack Black.
I saw a knockout. I don't care what anybody else saw.
Shallow Hal, rated PG-13. Special sneak preview Friday.
The closest shave is as easy as 1, 2, 3, Mach 3. Easy loading, easy rinsing with no clogging, and 3 blades that shave closer in 1 easy stroke. Mach 3 from Gillette.
Once again, Michelin has swept the J.D. Power and Associates Awards for customer satisfaction in tires. Now that's cause for celebration.
The Honda Foreman ES with Trax Lock shifts from 2-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive on the fly. When the trail gets bad, it gets better.
The World Series on Fox is presented by Budweiser. Budweiser, with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. This Bud's for you.
Right after the war, Army had 2 running backs, Blanchard and Davis, inside, outside. And tonight, Randy Johnson has been Mr. Outside, Mr. Inside. Inside to Soriano. Then away, fouled off away. Back inside. Back away to Getty. That's what the Yankee hitters tonight have done. They've backed away from home plate. Johnson fanning 9 on the night.
Take a look at tonight's box score for the Yankees, brought to you by John Hancock. Chuck Knobloch 0 for 2 with 1 strikeout. We list the strikeouts. Soriano has struck out twice. The only hit belongs to Posada, a leadoff hit in the 5th inning. He never moved as Spencer and Soriano each struck out after the hit, and Brocious fly to left. Andy Pettitte struck out his first time, and he will try to at least make it look good starting the 6th inning against Randy Johnson. The bunt attempt. Matt Williams with a bare hand pick up and throw, 1 out. Good effort, good try by Pettitte, but Matt Williams equal to the task, 1 away.
Matt Williams very deliberate with this throw to first base, knowing that Andy Pettitte has not run the bases. So why hurry the throw? Bare hand pickup, nice play.
So Pettitte gave it an effort. Actually dropped down a terrific bunt.
He did, yeah.
It took a strong play from Williams for the first out in the 6th inning, and now Knobloch with Velarde to follow. Knobloch lifted one into left field his last time up. He's tied up with that pitch, and he went around, strike 1.
I think this was the fork ball. It could have been the slider, but I think it was the splitter. Randy Johnson has thrown 4 or 5 splitters tonight. But because this ball goes down so wickedly, looked like a splitter.
Counted in, 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's what Kevin Kennedy referred to as the back leg slider in our pregame show tonight.
The Yankees have 1 hit, 1 walk. Knobloch with a 1-1 pitch, pops it up. Behind the plate, Damian Miller did not make the catch as it glanced off the screen. Bob Brenly's going to argue, but you could hear it. I could at least hear it through the headset as that ball came back, hit off the backstop, and therefore Miller trapped it.
Yeah, I think from Bob's view in the dugout, he saw Damon Damian Miller catch the ball cleanly without realizing that it hit higher up on the screen. That's a clean catch right there. But as home plate umpire Mark Hirschbeck says, it hit the screen higher up.
So Brenly came out to argue. Damian Miller didn't argue at all.
Nope.
And the count's 1-2 on Chuck Knobloch. With 1 out, nobody on. Knobloch is the second out. It's the new show everyone's been talking about, the best damn sports show period on Fox Sports Net. Tomorrow night, two-time NBA champion Shaquille O'Neal drops by the set. Mix it up with Tom Arnold, John Kruk, and the rest of the gang for what should be a fun show. For sports comedy, commentary, and updated scores and highlights, it's the best damn sports show period. Tomorrow night at 7:30 and 11:30 only on Fox Sports Net. With 2 out, nobody on, the batter is Randy Velarde. In the lineup because of his history of success against Randy Johnson. 20 of 46 coming in. He's 0 for 1 with a walk tonight. One ball, 1 strike. Velarde started the season in Texas, ended with the Yankees, picked up on the 31st of August. Here he is starting a World Series game, and Randy Johnson tries to make him his 10th strikeout victim.
171 games in his career. He has struck out double digits, and he's 1 strikeout away from making it 172.
Two balls, 2 strikes. 2 out, nobody on. Talk about Tom Arnold. There he is with a Yankee hat on. Watching as Randy Johnson looks for number 10. Velarde to third. Matt Williams, throw perfect. And Randy Johnson has been awfully close to perfect here tonight. A walk, a hit against him. 9 strikeouts. So far a shutout. Bottom of the 6th inning, 1-0 Arizona.
In and out. Good.
Randy Johnson first up for Arizona. Bottom of the 6th inning, 1-0 Diamondbacks. Johnson broke his back, grounded out to short. His first time up. It's out of play for strike 1. Johnson has got a little better every season since joining the National League. Traded to the Houston Astros from Seattle July 31st of 1998. Carlos Guillen, John Halama, and Freddie Garcia going the other way, and he signed with Arizona prior to the '99 season. He's won the last 2 National League Cy Young Awards, and he has one of the most awkward swings in the history of organized baseball for strike 2.
I think even Randy would laugh at that one.
0-2 the count. 1 away. I believe the Colorado Rockies, the organization that started this tradition, and it has become tradition in Colorado, and it is with other teams around baseball, a Little League field named after Randy Johnson. Randy Johnson putting money into that Little League field, and that's him signing autographs and being there at the opening of that Little League ball field. Jerry McMorris, Bob Gebhardt, the general manager with Colorado at the time. One Colorado Rocky after another put money into Little League fields, and now more teams are doing that across baseball. As Womack is jammed and Brocious makes the play to his left, 2 out. How about the box score for the Arizona Diamondbacks? It's brought to you tonight by John Hancock, and while we showed you the Yankees. Not a lot of hits there, not a lot of hits here. Reggie Sanders, Danny Batista, Matt Williams with the only 3 hits. Batista with an RBI double back in the 2nd inning for the only run of the night. Otherwise, offers up and down the lineup. And another shrewd move by Bob Brenly. A typical Torrey type move, giving Batista the start, a rare start against a left-hander Pettit, and that has paid off.
Batista in for Steve Finley. Steve is sitting tonight. Big hit of the game and the best hit ball in the game.
On 0-1, Counsell set up again. He's already struck out twice.
It just tells you something about how well both guys have been pitching. As you look at Counsell, who has not centered a ball all night, nor had many hitters off Andy Pettit or Randy Johnson. A lot of balls hit off the handle. A lot of balls swung through off the end of the bat.
Look at that ratio.
Man.
48-9 strikes to balls, and now the 0-2. Worth it there on 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
So 5 out of 6. Every 5 out of 6 pitches Pettit has thrown has been a strike.
2 singles and a double allowed, no walks, 7 strikeouts. 2-2. The 3 left-handers at the top of the lineup against Andy Pettit. 0 for 7. For 8. Counsell grounds out. First time he's put the ball in play, and we go to the 7th inning. Randy Johnson back to the hill with Jeter, Williams, Posada coming up. Back after this from your local Fox station.
Weekly is here.
To help keep America rolling, here's an important announcement from your local Pontiac dealer. Until November 18th, Pontiac will offer qualified buyers 0% APR GMAC financing on every new 2001 and 2002 model. Every Grand Am, Grand Prix, Sunfire, Montana, every Aztec, Firebird, and Bonneville. Interest-free financing on every new Pontiac. In a small way, it's our way of saying, let's keep America rolling. See your local Pontiac dealer for details.
The World Series on Fox is presented by Budweiser with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. This Bud's for you.
There have been a grand total of 5 balls hit out of the infield tonight as we move to the 7th inning of Game 2. The Yankees down 1-0 trail Arizona, and Randy Johnson 1-0 as Jeter leads it off.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks have 2 base hits out of the infield, and the Yankees have 2 outs, fly outs, and the only hit by Posada. Remarkable.
First pitch of the 7th inning. Jeter up there ready to swing. Got a pitch up and out over the plate. Fouled it back. Strike 1. Jeter has struck out tonight. Bounced into a force out. Williams and Posada will follow. Randy Johnson gave up 19 home runs during the regular season. He's given up a couple in the postseason. 1 to Julio Franco and 1 to Albert Pujols, the rookie for St. Louis, in Game 2 of the division series.
And Joe, we talked about Derek Jeter earlier. If he gets a ball down, that's the ball. That's his home run pitch. Down and in.
That caught the corner, not according to Jeter, in the count 0-2.
This pitch belt high on the inside corner.
Johnson still looking for strikeout number 10. Jeter is jammed, and Williams gets a tricky hop, makes the play. 1 out. With Bernie Williams coming up, we ask you to go to MLB.com to bid on special autographed and game-used items currently up for auction to benefit the Disaster Relief Fund. MLB.com. One out, bases empty, and Bernie Williams 0 for 2 steps in. Saying a hitter is 0 for anything in the Yankee lineup is redundant, with the exception of Jorge Posada, who has the only Yankee hit, a leadoff single in the 5th inning. Slider misses up and away. Ball 1 to Williams. Bernie Williams, 26 home runs during the regular season, 3 this postseason, and 16 in his postseason career. Just pounding the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike.
The biggest home run for Bernie Williams this postseason was the home run off Arthur Rhodes of Seattle to tie it. That was the same game that Alfonso Soriano hit the 2-run home run to win it for the Yankees. Game 4 of the ALCS.
Too low, 2 balls and a strike. Randy Velarde hitless tonight. Yankees are stocked from the left side with their bench tonight, with O'Neill, Martinez, and Justice. Randy Johnson is not slowing down with 1 out here in the 7th inning. 2 balls and a strike on Bernie Williams. 2-2. And Williams hot about that call.
Williams called out his first time up on a similar pitch. That was certainly high enough.
Only the 84th pitch of the night coming from Randy Johnson.
Not only the velocity, but the quality of the pitches, the location, extraordinary.
To third, Williams to his left. 2 out.
Right-handed lineup of the Yankees. Matt Williams has been very busy, the busiest guy on the field other than the pitchers and the catchers. 5 assists for Matt Williams this evening. Bob Brenly not guarding the line in that situation, and Randy Johnson gives you that luxury. He throws the ball so hard that few right-handers can pull him down the line.
Posada now with 2 out, nobody on. Jorge, the only hit for the Yankees, a leadoff hit in the 5th. Slider for a strike. Bernie Williams over in the Yankee dugout just tossed his batting gloves out onto the field. Lee Mazzilli just flipped them back in there. So Williams still upset about that strike 2 call. The 0-1 pitch. Another ground ball to the left side. Womack. Another 1-2-3 inning. Randy Johnson, sensational through 7. Tonight's game is being seen live around the world by U.S. servicemen and women, including those of the USS Enterprise in the North Arabian Sea. Thanks to the American Forces Radio and Television Service, all of America salutes you and appreciates what you do for our country. Now let's go to public address announcer Jeff Munn.
Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America in the singing of God Bless America, please welcome 10-time Grammy Award-winning, none such recording artist, Emmylou Harris.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairie,
breaking through the clouds on an early morning and seeing the sun come up, there's nothing like it. I love my job. I try to make it a good experience every time, no matter what. That's just me. That's the way I'm always going to be. I'm Dennis Tate. I'm a captain on the Airbus A320 and A319. I'm one of those guys that says hello over the PA, and I mean it. And, I'm glad you picked this flight to come on because I'm going to treat you right. Come on board. We are united.
So, you sure?
Oh, I'm sure. A new baby with 2 teenage boys. This should be fun.
So, when he starts college, we'll be
60. No, honey, this isn't a joke.
Okay. Small business software, $500. It's coming up. Small business seminar, $300. Small business supplies, $90. Leaving work early to use your reward points, priceless. Now, small business owners can earn points to use anywhere they see the MasterCard logo. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
Fox tomorrow.
You want to throw away a 6-figure income job to be a minimum wage babysitter?
Get ready for the new season of Boston Public. Hey. New faces heat things up.
Are you a real teacher?
Are you a real student?
And whatever you do,
how's your mother doing? She never returned my calls last spring.
watch
Jerry had a human hand?
until the very end.
You think he murdered his mother? Why don't you go see her? Hey, ding dong, anybody home, still alive?
The season premiere of the hit series Boston Public at 8/7 Central tomorrow on Fox.
The World Series on Fox, presented by Budweiser, is brought to you by the people of United Airlines. We are United, and by Budweiser, with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. This Bud's for you.
Fans, please remember Radio Shack is a collection site for the September 11 Fund, benefiting survivors, victims, families, and rescue personnel. The September 11 Fund is a collaboration of United Way, the New York Community Trust, and the Council of Foundations. As the heart of the order will bat for Arizona, Luis Gonzalez, Reggie Sanders, and Danny Batista. The 3, 4, and 5 hitters against Andy Pettit, who is pitching in the shadow of Randy Johnson and throwing a terrific game. 1-0 Arizona, and a breaking ball stays inside, ball 1. The 6'10" shadow of Randy Johnson is enveloping the 6'5" shadow of Andy Pettit. 1 ball, 1 strike.
One of the criticisms of low-scoring ball games that they're boring, but the pitchers are so dominant tonight. This has taken on the character of a high-scoring game.
On the outside corner, 1 and 2.
To reiterate your point, only 5 balls hit out of the infield by both teams, and here we are in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Gonzalez fouls it out of play. Last inning, with Craig Counsell at the plate, the count was 0-2 from Andy Pettit. During that stretch, he had thrown 17 consecutive strikes. And it just shows you how good his stuff is for pitchers that are on the plate all night, that he has allowed only 1 run on 3 hits. Meanwhile, the Yankees, no runs on 1 hit. Only 12 pitches out of the strike zone all night. And Gonzalez is hit by the pitch. Caught him on the hand of the wrist. And Gonzalez, we already talked about how he starts with that open stance and kind of strides into the pitch. Literally walked right into that one.
We also talked about Andy Pettit. The reason he's been successful against left-handed hitters this year compared to other years, he's been coming inside. Ouch. Left wrist. Wow.
Now they're looking at him. Bob Brentley trots out, the trainer out there. The first base coach, Eddie Rodriguez, is there. And that ball hit his wrist. You could hear it clearly. So looking at the outside of the left wrist of Luis Gonzalez. Here's a guy, Gonzalez, who had 31 home runs last year. He had 57 home runs this year. He homered in last night's game to put Arizona on top for good. And the fans here, Bob Brenly and every Diamondback, breathing a sigh of relief as you look at what Gonzalez has done over the years. A guy who was traded here from Detroit for Kareem Garcia, along with coming from Detroit to Arizona, $500,000 cash just to make the deal happen. And he is getting better and better. Reggie Sanders with Reggie Jackson watching from the seats. They chant Reggie, Reggie here in Arizona as Sanders digs in, one on, nobody out.
I don't think Bob Brenly would be bunting here either.
Gonzalez able to get back with one step.
Andy Pettitte trying to find out if Reggie Sanders is bunting. Reggie, a very good low ball hitter. Pettitte has to keep the ball down to be effective. Reggie Sanders 1 for 2 on the night. He scored the only run of the game. I think all things point toward swinging the bat in this situation.
That misses ball one. It's been a fluid lineup for Bob Brenly in that the cleanup hitter has been one of 4 different players during the NLCS. It was either Reggie Sanders, Matt Williams, Steve Finley, or Batista. It's Sanders tonight, as it was last night, with Batista in the lineup batting 5th. Atypical that a team that would play this deep into the postseason would have a changing cleanup hitter from game to game.
That's an interesting thought, Joe. 4 different cleanup hitters in the postseason. You would think somebody has established himself in that spot over the course of the season, but not so for the Diamondbacks.
One on, nobody out, 2 balls, no strikes. To third. Roches had trouble getting it out of his glove. High throw and safe is Sanders. 1 on, 1 out.
Roches upset, knowing that that ball was hit crisply enough to turn the double play. But that little bobble momentarily, and Soriano's throw is high. Credit Luis Gonzalez with a hard slide, forcing the throw up. There's the bobble, and watch the slide by Gonzalez. It forces the high throw, makes Velarde jump, and Sanders is safe.
So it's 1 on, 1 out as the Yankees miss a chance to turn a double play after a night last night that was atypical Yankees in the postseason, committing the 2 errors, allowing 5 unearned runs. Not playing the same type baseball that we are accustomed to seeing from the Yankees late in October.
Misplays come in many disguises defensively. No error given on that play, but clearly Roches turns that double play more often than not.
Pettitte on the mound with help in the bullpen if he needs it. Batista took one too far inside, ball 1.
One more time, the ball hit very hard to Brocious. Fumble. Soriano, hard slide by Gonzalez, and that brings Velarde off the bag, and Sanders beats a play that the Yankees normally turn for 2.
A typical running situation with this combination, and Sanders takes off on the pitch, but because of the move of Andy Pettitte, Sanders with a late break, and that was more in the variety in the category of a hit and run as opposed to a stolen base.
Oh, sure. Only the second time tonight that either team has tried to run. Derek Jeter did on a 2-2 count in the 4th inning. Good time to put it on back-to-back. See if Brenly does that.
Does not. Batista's now in the hole, 1-2. You got Batista up now, Matt Williams on deck. And Ramiro Mendoza getting loose for the Yankees out in their bullpen.
Joe, the reason I said that was because Andy Pettitte has thrown so many strikes tonight. That's one of the prime components of a hit-and-run play. And with only 13 balls, you also have to have a hitter that makes contact. But of course, with 2 strikes, unless it goes to 3-2, Sanders won't be running.
Check on Sanders. As hard as it is for the base runner, Reggie Sanders, to read the move, here's Randy Velarde, not typically a first baseman, who's got to read that move, pick up the throw, and try to apply the tag. Not easy for a guy who doesn't play a lot of first base.
Yeah, if you're Randy, you're saying pick him off, not me.
One ball, 2 strikes. Sanders not running, and Batista grounds it foul. Oh, the guy had his chance for a World Series souvenir, and he whiffed.
Forlorn also. And here's that chance Joe was talking about. Oh. And his glove on. Security guard saying the same thing. You bring the glove and then you don't make the play. I can't help you.
1 ball, 2 strikes still on Batista. Up the middle, off Pettitte. Too short, base hit. And time to check on the 29-year-old left-hander.
The next to last start of the season, the regular season, Ben Grieve of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays hit Andy Pettitte on the left forearm. A lot of hitters hit the ball back through the box against Pettitte. It appeared that it was the right knee, right above the right knee, and the Yankees are hopeful that it's muscle, not bone, and it appeared to be.
So a visit to check on his well-being. Now it's Matt Williams at the plate with 2 on, 1 out. You go earlier in the year. There's September 26th, and that's Ben Grieve. Pettitte had to leave that start after getting hit right above the pitching elbow. He ended up making 1 more start against Tampa Bay at the end of the season, worked well, and was ready for the division series. In fact, pitched well in Game 2 of the division series, but was matched up with Tim Hudson and lost 2-0. Won twice in the ALCS, trailing here in the World Series. Matt Williams takes a strike. Runners on at first and second, 1 out. Reggie Sanders, Danny Batista. The same 2 responsible for the only run of the night. Remember the missed chance on the double play ball hit by Reggie Sanders. See if that comes back to haunt the Yankees. It does. Goodbye, Matt Williams, 3-run homer, 4-0 Arizona. Blaming on Rio Williams as Matt gets his first of this postseason.
That movie made in 1984. If it were made today, it'd be Blame It on Pettitte.
They were booing him in the division series. Now they're standing for him in the World Series.
Man. That was a cut fastball, the same as the first pitch. up a little bit, and did he ever know it? Crushed into left field.
Now Grace grounds to second. 2 out in the inning.
The first pitch to Matt Williams. Or the home run ball.
A night of so many terrific pitches from Pettit. He flips a mistake to the plate, and Matt Williams was waiting for it. Damian Miller now with 2 out, nobody on. The 0-1. 0-2. Getting ready to say, prior to that pitch to Matt Williams, they went out to check on Pettit to see if he was okay after he was hit. And the ball back up the middle by Batista. Miller strikes out. They had Ramiro Mendoza ready in the bullpen with a right-handed Williams coming up. They stayed with Pettit. And Matt Williams took him out of the park. With that, Randy Johnson and the Arizona Diamondbacks have a 4-0 lead as we go to the 8th.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Hello.
These guys took care of that thing, right?
Hey, Mikey, we take care of that thing? Hey, Nicky, you took care of that thing, right?
Yeah, sure. Come on, please. Hey, did you take care of that thing yet?
Yeah.
You took care of that thing, right?
Hold on. Yeah. Steer there? Yeah.
You took care of that thing, right?
Jerry? Jerry?
Recently, at this quiet, unassuming little Pizza Hut, an interesting pizza discovery took place. Whoa! We've created the new Ultimate Lovers Pizzas from Pizza Hut. Our Lovers Pizzas now with cheese once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6 kinds of luscious cheese, and 6 kinds of seriously satisfying meat toppings, or 5 garden veggies, or 2 layers of zesty pepperoni. And you'll discover it's not $12.99, it's only $8.99. $8.99. The new Ultimate Lovers Pizzas, only from Pizza Hut.
Now batting, Jackie Robinson.
It is not the critic who counts. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat, and blood, who at best knows the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, if he fails, fails while daring greatly, so that he shall never be with those timid souls who know neither victory or defeat.
Take me out to the ball game. Llévame a gozar. 사주세요 땅콩과 crack to check. ずっとここにいようよ. Cause it's root for the home team. S'il ne gagne pas, c'est dommage. When it's in,对. 3 strikes te vas. It's your ball game.
Once in a while, a new series comes along that raises the bar for all of television. This year, that show is 24. It's the premiere you must not miss. 24, Tuesday, November 6th on Fox.
Our game summary brought to you by Pepsi. The 3-run bottom of the 7th inning on the home run by Matt Williams, his 3rd in World Series play. Matchup of Randy Johnson, Andy Pettit. So good for Johnson and Pettit into the 7th inning. When it fell apart on the home run by Matt Williams, and Batista at the bottom of that list has been a big contributor here tonight for Arizona. So big that he's finished for the night, and Steve Finley takes over in center field. Adding to the defense behind Randy Johnson as Spencer takes a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Soriano and Brocious will follow. On the inside corner, strike 2. To the right side and through. A base hit. Spencer on to start the 8th.
A clunker by Shane Spencer. Jam with the slider, and he fights it off between first and second. Only the 3rd Yankee base runner of the night.
So Spencer's aboard and Soriano will bat. The rookie has struck out twice. It's in the 3rd, once in the 5th. And Miller, a good play to keep that at the plate. Got a look at Young-Hun Kim getting loose for Arizona out in their bullpen. In case the Yankees start putting together a rally here in the 8th. 1 ball, 1 strike on Soriano.
But as you see with Soriano fouling the ball off the other way, that's a good sign for Bob Brenly. Scott Brocious on deck. Soriano still can't catch up to the fastball.
Only 92 pitches thrown by Randy Johnson, which is nothing for him. Base hit Soriano, and the Yankees have put their first 2 on here in the 8th. So 2 on with nobody out, and Brocious coming up.
Fastball lowered about mid-thigh high, hammered into left field. That's the best ball the Yankees have hit tonight. So Bob Brenly seeing Soriano not catch up to the high fastball and catching up to that thigh-high heater inside as Kim continues to warm.
And remember, as Kim is getting loose for Arizona in their bullpen, the Yankees have Paul O'Neill, Tino Martinez, and David Justice available on their bench.
That's why Luis Sojo is on the on-deck circle as a decoy. Joe Torre would love, if Scott Brocious gets on, Joe Torre would love to see Kim come in the game. I don't think Brenly's going to bite.
Brocious checked it, ball 1.
Sweeping slider, he held up.
A leadoff hit by Spencer, followed by a hit by Soriano. One ball, 1 strike on Brocious. So the Yankees had 1 hit through 7 innings and put back-to-back hits together here in the 8th. For the first time, the Yankees have 2 on in 1 inning. Off the end of the bat right side, and that will get out of play for strike 2.
Randy Johnson, a pitcher that takes a lot of pride in not only starting, but also stopping his games. 79 complete games for his career.
Brocious 1 out of 5 in this World Series. A .391 career hitter in World Series play coming into last night's game. Set up here at a ball and 2 strikes. One out. Lisa Johnson applauding her husband as Scott Brocious lost his temper after being rung up on this pitch on his way back to the dugout.
Right on the corner. And once again, Johnson not only throwing hard, but his location has been near perfect.
Randy Johnson gets a visit from Bob Welch, his pitching coach. Here is Randy talking about his desire every time he takes the ball to go all 9.
One common bond that myself and Kurt both have is we take a great deal of pride when we get the ball on that 5th day. We've mentally and physically prepared ourselves to go 9 innings. And in order to do that, a lot of preparation has to go into that. But we feel like we haven't quite done our job if we haven't gone 9 innings. I mean, you got position players that in 162 games are playing 140, 150 games. Why can't a pitcher go out there and pitch 9 innings? Well, it doesn't work that way, but I take a great deal of pride in doing that, in finishing when I start.
He's in the 8th inning here tonight, pitching with 2 on, 1 out, and pitching with a 4-run lead in the 8th. And Brocious is still yelling out at Mark Hirschbeck, the home plate umpire. Here's Luis Sojo with only his 2nd at bat of the postseason. He's been a good luck charm for Joe Torre over these postseason years, including the game-winning hit in Game 5 of last year's World Series at Shea Stadium. Batting against Randy Johnson and now behind on the count 0-1.
3 game-winning hits this year, even though that is not an official statistic anymore. Sojo does not usually get around on a hard slider or fastball like he did pulling that ball toward the Diamondback dugout.
Luis Sojo is up for the 2nd time in this postseason. You go back to last year, the Game 5 in the end World Series winning hit. Getting out lighter, and these are all the game-winning hits this season that Sojo has put together for Joe Torre, and it is the reason that he is active and on the roster. Bobby Valentine, the Mets manager, part of the Roberto Clemente Award presentation to the city of New York prior to tonight's game. Watching as Sojo waits for an 0-2 pitch. For Luis, only his 13th at bat since the 17th of August. He had 11 at bats down the stretch from the 17th of August on. Hit 165. He's a career 167 hitter against Randy Johnson. To the left side, Williams. Counsell, inning over. No magic in that Sojo bat tonight. The 5-4-3 double play to end the top of the 8th. The reaction from Johnson. The reaction from Schilling. Bottom of the 8th, Game 2, 4-0 Arizona.
Find the seams. It's the splitter. No, it's the high heat.
Did I lock my keys in the car? Is that Sosa? Going for my Pepsi. Sammy.
The 1-liter Big Slam from Pepsi. More of the taste you go for.
Totally new Nissan Altima.
When it comes to food, a lot of places have silly ideas to bring you in. But once you get to the taste, where's the fresh? Hey, Clucky, want something made fresh? Uh-huh. Come on. Try one of the new Subway Selects made on fresh-baked gourmet bread. Susie?
Right, Jim. Subway's got 4 new Subway Selects, like the delicious horseradish steak and cheese, all on fresh-baked gourmet bread and all made fresh right in front of you.
Whoa, check out that check. Just kidding.
Tomorrow's the big event. Are we there?
The work is there,
Excellent.
but it's not here.
Not here?
Not here. We have a glitch.
A glitch?
A glitch. New York's files are garbled. The servers in London are down, and everything from Asia has just plain vanished.
Vanished?
Vanished. You know, a glitch.
So no pitch. Well, what do we do tomorrow?
Discuss our global capabilities.
And that's when it hits you. You are so ready for IBM.
The World Series on Fox, presented by Budweiser, is brought to you by Nissan. Nissan introduces the totally new V6 Ultima, the cure for the common car. By IBM, taking e-business and your business to the next level. And by the joy of Pepsi.
Randy Johnson first up here in the bottom of the 8th inning. We just heard from Randy Johnson about his desire to finish every game he starts. For reassurance, his manager Bob Brenly, after the top of this 8th, had this question for him.
You want to finish this one? Yeah. Atta baby. Go up there and get us a knock. Come on. He's first up.
As if he didn't know the answer. Mike Stanton takes over for the Yankees here in the bottom of the 8th. Stanton worked in last night's game. Pitched 1 perfect inning. So far this postseason, not a lot of work. A record of 1-0. Johnson 0 for 2 at the plate. Ball 1 from Stanton.
Mike Stanton has very short fingers, and he's only been throwing the splitter for about 3 years. So in an effort to stretch out his fingers, he will start with the ball in his bare hand with the splitter grip. He does that to stretch the index finger and the middle finger out, but changes it when he goes in the mitt.
Johnson puts it in play. 1 out. And Randy Johnson ought to get a nice ovation heading back to the dugout after that ground out in the first out here in the bottom of the 8th. So far for Johnson, a 3-hit shutout. One out. Here's Womack. Randy Johnson threw a 3-hit shutout in game 1 of the NLCS here against Atlanta. And he has 8 in his career. That's during the regular season. So add 1 more in this postseason, a 3-hit shutout against Atlanta. He will take that with him back to the mound in the 9th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike to Womack.
Of course, the Yankees had not scored a run, but that double play ball hit to Scott Brocious in the bottom of the 7th inning. The ramifications of that, they don't complete the double play. And then Batista's ball off Andy Pettitte. You don't know what is going to happen if he's pitching from the windup. But with Derek Jeter not protecting at second base, not cheating towards second to make the double play, perhaps Jeter could have fielded that ball. And then Andy Pettitte and the Yankees are out of the inning. It's still a 1-0 ball game. But that was, you mentioned it, Joe, the last half inning. That was a key play in this ball game. Scott Brocious unable to turn the double play.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Womack. 1 out, nobody on, and now 2-2. It cost the Yankees at least 1 run with Sanders reaching, and who knows what the inning would have brought with 2 out, nobody on. Counsell waits to hit next.
You get the double play, you're not pitching under duress.
Here's a 2-2 to Womack. To the right side. 3 hops to Soriano. 2 out.
Here's what we were talking about. Nobody out. Hard hit ball to Brocious. Momentary bobble. High throw by Soriano. And now the base hit off Andy Pettit's right leg. Set it up for the home run by Matt Williams.
A 3-run shot to make it 4-0. Bob Brenly has stayed with Matt Williams in this postseason. Talked about how the fans here were booing Williams during the division series. Bob Brenly staying with him over at third. He doesn't have the range that he once had, but he still has the hands. And not only does he have the home run in this game, but he has been busy and he has played flawless defense behind the pitching of Randy Johnson. Counsell hitless tonight. Matt Williams, a player who as a minor leaguer learned how to field ground balls by strapping ping pong paddles to his hands, receiving ground balls to soften the hands, give with the ground ball, and it's turned him into a 4-time Gold Glove award-winning infielder.
He signed as a shortstop off the campus of UNLV.
2 out, nobody on, no balls, 1 strike. Counsell takes ball 1 from Stanton in the 9th inning. It'll be the top of the order for Randy Johnson. Knobloch, Velarde, and Jeter. If anybody gets on, Bernie Williams. By the way, with a home run, Matt Williams becomes the first player to hit a home run in the World Series with 3 different teams. 89 with the Giants, 97 with Cleveland, and then the 3-run shot here in the 7th inning tonight for Arizona. A 1-1 to Counsell. 2 balls and a strike from Stanton.
Your comments about Matt Williams brings a curious thought of what ping pong players do to get ready for ping pong games.
Old baseball gloves.
Yeah, right. Makes sense.
2 balls and a strike on Counsell. Struck out twice and grounded out. Slicing down the left field line. Knobloch is not going to be able to get there. Foul, 2-2. First time we've called Knobloch's name all night. Bernie Williams hasn't made a catch in center. And Spencer has not made a catch in right. The game 3 starters, Brian Anderson and Roger Clemens. First start in the World Series for Brian Anderson, but he was busy for Cleveland back in '97 in the World Series against Florida. That's game 3 of the World Series Tuesday at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific here on Fox. Catchable for Knobloch, and the Diamondbacks go in order in the 8th. Bob Brenly asked Randy Johnson if he wanted to finish this one. He'll get his chance. 9th inning, 4-0 Arizona.
That was fun. Hey, would you be my big, strong watchdog and guard my Bud Light while I go to the ladies' room?
Woof. Woof, baby.
Hey, let's touch it.
Hey, go.
Taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light.
It ain't that bad.
Hold on. We've got more prizes. For the student who sells the most candy, a weekend pass to Coastal Kingdom to get out there and sell that candy.
The Volkswagen Passat. It only looks like $1 million.
All right, guys, bring it in. Bring it in. Hey, where's Billy?
He's sick. He's our best player. Yeah, we can't play without him.
Come on, it's gonna be okay.
It's for the championship, Coach.
There's gonna be a lot of other games.
Hey, I can play.
Do you know how?
I'm not bad.
He's tall. What do you think? All right, let's go! Hey, if we win, we get to go to McDonald's. So don't play.
1-800-MEDIC. I'd be very happy to.
Right, half pepperoni and half, oh, hello. I'm here at 1-800-Medicare, where important questions are being answered. Hold the mail. Questions about Medicare health plans, nursing homes, and supplemental insurance. Some even ask, how does switching plans affect my coverage? Although my coverage is none of their business. So call the experts, like Raymond here, 24 days a week, 8 days an hour.
1-800-Medicare, helping you help yourself.
Tomorrow on the best damn sports show, period. Shaq drops by to mix it up with the gang as they take you places no other show dares to go.
You are a sexy man. You look good.
What more could you want from a sports show?
Randy Johnson will try to throw the complete game. Right now, a 3-hit shutout. He'll face the top of the lineup for the Yankees. Last complete game shutout, the '93 World Series. Game 5, Curt Schilling doing it for Philadelphia against Toronto. His rotation partner, Randy Johnson, trying to throw one here tonight. Knobloch is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. He's flied to left. He's popped up on the infield, and he takes a strike. The last complete game 3-hit shutout in World Series play. Orel Hershiser, game 2 of the 1988 World Series, a 6-0 win over Oakland. The 0-1 into right field, Reggie Sanders. 1 out.
Only the 103rd pitch of the evening. Jerry Colangelo, the managing general partner of the Diamondbacks, happy for 2 deals that he made. One, a trade for Curt Schilling last year, and the signing of Randy Johnson as a free agent 3 years ago.
Here is Randy Velarde, hitless plus a walk. Strike 1. If the Diamondbacks win this game, and again coming up after the game, late local news except on the West Coast, the questions then will be, how will Arizona fare when they go to New York, when they play in the Bronx, when they play at Yankee Stadium? And how will the Yankees respond if they're down 2 games to none? We saw how they did that against Oakland in the division series in a best-of-5 series. They won 3 in a row. Then they took care of the Seattle Mariners, a team that won 116 games during the regular season. Now they're on the verge of being down 2 games to none to the Diamondbacks. Still 0-2 on Velarde.
We also saw them do it in the World Series, their first of 4 in 5 years, against the Atlanta Braves in 1996, losing the first 2 games at Yankee Stadium and then coming back and beating the Braves 4 in a row, 3 down there and the clincher at Yankee Stadium.
Randy Johnson has allowed 3 singles, 1 walk. He struck out 10. Two out.
Bob Brenly asked Randy Johnson if he wanted to finish. Well, he's 1 out away.
Velarde in the lineup because of his success in years gone by against Johnson. 0 for 3. Curt Schilling and Randy Johnson, when they're not pitching, always sitting side by side in the Diamondbacks dugout. Schilling won last night with 7 strong innings. Randy Johnson 1 out away from a 3-hit shutout in game 2. Derek Jeter. We will attempt to stay here for interviews after this game as Jeter takes ball one. Two and 0. The Yankees, winners of 38 American League pennants, winners of 26 World Championships, 3 in a row, 4 of the last 5, taking on the Diamondbacks, a franchise in their 4th year of existence, but anchored by a tandem of Schilling and Johnson that some compare to Drysdale and Koufax. We came on the air talking about the old and the new, the old being the Yankees, the new being the Diamondbacks, and the new 1 out away from going up 2 games to none. The ball gets loose on the playing field, so Johnson steps off.
Randy Johnson, you have to believe, is asking himself, how many more chances will I have? His first World Series at age 38.
His 111th pitch of the night is his last. Diamondbacks win it 4-0. They're up 2 games to none.
Good evening from the world's most famous arena. Al Troutwig along with the mayor of Elaine's, Keith Hernandez. We've all just watched a stunning postseason performance by Randy Johnson, and the Yankees' run of 3 straight World Series championships is in serious jeopardy as the Diamondbacks, the team that has the swimming pool beyond the right field wall, goes up 2-0.
A swimming pool compared to the monuments out in Yankee Stadium.
Now, all night long, Keith Hernandez was watching this game, and he kept yelling at the TV, "This is baseball. This is old-time baseball." Why were you so excited?
Pitching. I mean, Andy Pettitte just threw a wonderful game, makes one mistake to Matt Williams in the 7th inning, a 3-run home run, and it may not have made a difference, but it was just a brilliantly pitched game, and Randy Johnson pitched very strongly inside early and predominantly through the game and set up the whole thing.
Amazingly, the Yankees, who got only 3 hits in Game 1 of the World Series for the first time since 1963, do it again tonight. They only get 3 hits. And as Randy Johnson can show you, he is always around the strike zone, so he is, like Andy Pettitte, hittable at times, but has the stuff to power out of it.
Well, I just think that the fact that he established inside and threw inside early in the game, all good hitters don't like the ball in. There's very few. Ted Williams was one that did. So if you establish it and get hitters worried in, then you can make a mistake away late in the game. And he just really pitched a brilliant game.
You know, if you think about it, he's 6 feet 10 inches tall, so it's really not a 60 feet 6-inch pitching rubber to home plate scenario. By the time he releases it, he's probably maybe, I don't know, 56 feet away. Plus, he's 7 feet wide of the rubber when he releases it, and it's coming at you from that unbelievable angle.
Right. Well, the fact that he's sidearm makes it terribly difficult for left-hand hitters. Makes it more hittable for right-hand hitters. But he reminds me a lot of J.R. Richards from the Houston Astros, who was 6'8", and he had a very long stride to home plate.
All right, the Yankees have shown twice in this run of Joe Torre that they can come back from being down 0-2. The only difference is that it's very tough after these first 2 games to envision a scenario where they can beat Randy Johnson and Curt Schilling twice, or maybe 3 times, depending on how Bob Brenly plays it.
Well, I just feel that if this series was going to be competitive, they had to win The first two in Arizona did. And they can't lose with their big two, Schilling and Johnson. Now they've got halfway there. If they both win both games, they've won 4 and they win.
Joe Torre played all his righties tonight. No David Justice, no Paul O'Neill, no Tino Martinez, no pinch hits for them off the bench because Bob Brenly never had to pull Randy Johnson from the game. I thought before the series started that in one of these two games, the Yankees would, in their tradition, find a way. Are you surprised they haven't?
Well, this is a 1-2 tandem in Schilling and Johnson that is so much like Koufax and Drysdale. And good pitching beats good hitting. And that's all there is to it. We saw the Yankees have been shut down. Well, they got 20 strikeouts in 2 games?
Yeah, 20 strikeouts in 2 games. And, you know, as you talk about the highlights of this game, I mean, there are many scenarios where the Yankees came close. But let's start things off. Top of the first, top of the second inning, Randy Johnson sets the tone early. In fact, he would strike out 7 of the first 9 Yankees he faced. First inning, with that menacing stare from beyond the mitt. Chuck Knobloch can't hold up. Then Randy Velarde grounded out, and Derek Jeter couldn't hold back and actually tipped it. So 2 strikeouts. Now Bernie Williams in the second inning.
Brushed the moth off, and now his 3-2 pitch to Williams.
I thought it was a ball.
So did Bernie. And then Jorge Posada after the argument.
Nasty slider.
Oh, man. So Randy Johnson does, as I said, set the tone for what he would do in this game, and that is put up 0 after 0 and 0 after 0. Now, Andy Pettitte, just like Randy Johnson, was lights out in the first inning. That was when he faced the lefties. Then he started facing the righties in the order of the Arizona Diamondbacks in the bottom of the second inning, and this is where he got himself in trouble. This is where the game was essentially lost because Arizona only needed 1 run. We'll start it off with Reggie Sanders using his speed. I mean, Derek Jeter's got no play here. As they said in the broadcast, and they said it right, he just put that ball in his back pocket. Here's Danny Batista.
First pitch hitting.
Unreal. This will bring the run around. Shane Spencer's relay goes to Alfonso Soriano, and that was the run as we go live to Joe Torre at Bank One Ballpark.
Dan?
Jody, you obviously Randy was too good for you guys at this point tonight?
Randy was just too good for you guys at this point, or what?
I mean, he was wonderful. He was sensational. There's no question. He dominated like he's capable of doing. His control was great, and you know, we had the one-run game. You never know. You know, when you got the other 3, that makes it a lot tougher. Although we tried to get the tie and run to the plate there in the 8th inning. It wasn't to be, but he was terrific. I mean, he lived up to what he was supposed to be tonight for sure.
Who else? Dan?
Joe, obviously you would have liked to at least kind of split out here, but does it make it a little easier just having Roger in Game 3 and then El Duque in Game 4?
You obviously would have liked to get a split out here, but does it make it a little easier knowing it's Roger in Game 3 and El Duque after that?
Well, it's never easy. I mean, I'm fortunate. I've got 4 pitchers that I can throw out there anytime and feel confident. And Roger, with the kind of year he's had and the kind of games he's had to win, you know, we need to obviously break the fall right now. And you know, Roger's our guy at home, and hopefully we can get it done on Tuesday.
Yes, Bob.
The 3-run homer coming just a pitch or 2 after he got hit off the leg. Any cause and effect that you could see?
3-run homer coming just after he got hit on the leg. Any cause and effect that you can see?
I really don't think so. He came back and got the next 2 guys out, struck out, you know, the last batter. So I don't think so. His pitch count was down, and you know, he just made a pitch up to Matty, and it cost us.
Bruce?
So are you surprised, though, what type of pitcher Johnson is now? Not just a power pitcher, but a guy who throws that the 2-seamer now and gets all those ground balls.
Are you surprised at the kind of pitcher Randy Johnson is now? Not just didn't hear what you said.
Two-seamers.
Throws a 2-seamer now. Yeah.
Bruce, I can't say I'm surprised because, you know, you see him enough on television. You see the result, you know, 20-game winner. Obviously, he has more than 1 pitch that he can do things with. I think the key tonight was his command of everything he had.
Yeah.
You know, Bernie Williams and Brosius were both visibly upset with calls all night long on the inside part of the plate. What did you think of the umpires at home plate tonight?
Bernie Williams seemed upset all night at the calls on the inside part of the plate. What did you think of the home plate umpiring tonight?
I never really get involved. You know, from the dugout side, you can only really see high and low. And I thought early in the game, a couple of pitches to Bernie were down. Can't tell with Brosius because that's the in and out, and you can't see that from the side. you know, I thought Mark was consistent tonight, and you know, the last thing we're going to do is blame an umpire for, you know, for what we didn't do tonight.
Who else? Dan?
Could you just talk about Andy's performance in general and how you thought he did?
Would you just talk about Andy Pettit's performance in general?
You know, to me, Andy is such a big game guy. You know, pitch on the road, you know, with all the distraction, with the crowd noise, he gets so locked in. And even after he hit Gonzo, you know, he basically got the double play ball. We couldn't turn it. He's a big guy for me. You know, I learned that in '96, and that's why I've been an Andy Pettit fan ever since then, because he never disappoints. He goes out there, prepares properly, and just pitches his heart out. It just wasn't good enough tonight.
Ian?
Joe, just because of no DH and facing Randy Johnson tonight, you really haven't been able to play your full complement of hitters. Is that something you're looking forward to going back to New York?
Because of no DH, you haven't been able to play your full complement of hitters against guys like Randy Johnson. Is that something you're looking forward to going back to New York?
Well, we're looking forward to going home. There's no question. I mean, you know, I don't think. You know, the axiom has never changed. Good pitching stops good hitting, and that's what we've seen the last couple of days with Randy and Kurt.
Howard?
Hey, Joe, you've been here before against Oakland. What's the mood right now? Is it any different from there?
You've been here before, like against Oakland. What's the mood right now? Is it any different?
Well, we're down. I mean, there's no question. You can't lose 2 games in a 7-game series, the first 2 games, and not feel the effects. But again, this is where, you know, we need to get it back and get it going. And that most recent series, though, is something that tells us something. And especially in a 5-game series, to come back the way we get it against a very good team, we need to find that formula again. And Roger's the key. You know, Roger needs to go out and get it. Well, we need to get him a lead, and he needs to go out and dominate like these 2 guys have.
And how healthy is the hamstring of Roger Clemens? Well, we'll see at Yankee Stadium on Tuesday night for Game 3. And again, the psychology of these series. If the Yankees had split these games and then lost Game 3, it's no different than if they win Game 3 and it's 2-1. You know how it plays out. So we'll talk about who's going to pitch in Game 3. We want to go back and show you the second inning. Danny Batista at the plate. He drives a double to the outfield wall. This is going to bring Reggie Sanders in to score. Interesting play as it unfolded, Keith, because Alfonso Soriano will get the throw from Shane Spencer. He could have easily gotten Batista at third. He elects to go home where he really had no realistic play. Eventually, that wouldn't be a factor because Andy Pettit would get out of it. Infield in, Mark Grace. Great play by Soriano and Posada to erase that run.
This is a nice play. In between hop, the infield's in. And Pettit, again, okay, he just pitched out of this jam. It could have been a 2-0 ball game. He kept it 1-0.
Oh, he was huge. Now the Yankees would watch Randy Johnson roll along and roll along. We go to the 5th inning now. This is when the Yankees got their first hit, their first chance of anything. They had gotten a walk in the 4th. Now they get their first hit in the 5th. But watch what Randy Johnson does after this Jorge Posada hit to the right side. He just fights it off and goes through the opposite field.
That's one of the few bad pitches that Randy Johnson made. It was a fastball up on the strike zone on the outer half of the plate.
Shane Spencer can't hold back.
And that's a strike, nasty slider. And this blew Soriano away, the fastball up and away, after he pounded him inside.
And just a lazy fly ball from Scott Brocious. So the Yankees had their first base runner, but can't do anything with it. So Randy Johnson is rolling along. Meanwhile, Andy Pettit would pitch the same way in the 5th inning. The Arizona Diamondbacks would get a base runner, and then just as you said earlier in the game, and as we've seen his entire career, he gets the ground balls that turn out to be inning-ending ground balls. Here's Matt Williams setting the tone for his home run, which would come later. The sweet swing of a veteran back in the World Series for the first time in 12 years. But look at that. That's Mark Grace. Look at that swing.
And boom, way up and in.
And now this. Around the horn, 5-4-3, inning over. So a leadoff single, which is trouble a lot of the time, 60% of the time, in fact, and Andy Pettit pitches out of it. Now we get to the bottom of the 7th inning, and this is where the Arizona Diamondbacks gave Randy Johnson all the extra runs he needed to pitch to the scoreboard the rest of the way. It started things off, Andy Pettit did, with this pitch up and in. Now imagine you saw that graphic there for a moment. This is the 7th inning, and Andy Pettit had only thrown 12 balls. So he hits Gonzalez, and now the missed double play.
Well, this should have been 2, and double clutch by Brocious, but still, the double clutch by Brocious couldn't find the handle. this has got to be turned by Soriano, and he just threw it over his head. And the runner's coming in late. Hey, if he's not down, you got to hit him in the head with a throw. All right, up to him to get out.
The double play would not have ended the inning, but maybe Pettit pitches differently if the bases are empty and he's not pitching out of the stretch. As a result, Danny Batista, who hit the double earlier, hits one right off the leg of Andy Pettit. Joe Torre would come out. Pettit said, "I'm fine," stayed in, and then kaboom. Matt Williams. Boy, did he hit all of that one.
Well, he crushed it, and it was probably the worst pitch that Andy made the whole night, a hanging slider right down the middle. And he knew it. Look at his reaction. He knew it. I love him. Gosh darn, he pitched a great game, and he lost a tough game. And, he, you know, you make a bad pitch, he could have popped it up. He hit it out.
But again, the winning run, as things turned out, came in the second inning. So now let's go to the Yankees' last gasp. They did go down with a little bit of a fight. But if ever there was proof that the Yankees don't have the magic tonight, it was Luis Sojo coming to the plate after Shane Spencer and Alfonso Soriano singled. Now, Luis Sojo was the hero, of course. He had the game-winning hit in last year's World Series. He won a game on June 4th and then blasted one to the wall against Tampa Bay on the 9th of August. But here tonight, having had only 17 at-bats, Keith, since the middle of August, I mean, that's not being used at all. How can you expect that he's going to come through? And he doesn't. In fact, it was a dud of World Series proportions.
Well, this says volumes for get rid of the DH, because you're playing in a National League side and you've got to use your bench.
Well, so there you have it. Luis Sojo does not have it for Joe Torre tonight. No Justice, no O'Neill, no Martinez. We're going to see them, though, in Game 3. It's going to be Roger Clemens going up against Brian Anderson, who has seen some after the regular season experience, but that's the chance for the Yankees to win a game.
Agreed.
Let's go out to Bob Brenly now in Arizona.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, questions for Bob Brenly. Oh, we got him here, guys.
How do you feel going to New York? You must be very confident of...
Please show a hand so I can see where you are.
I'm sorry, I'm way in the back.
Okay.
Just wanted to know how you feel now, again, after your first two games managing the World Series, and how your team must feel at this point now, going back to New York.
How do you feel winning your first 2 World Series games and about going into New York?
Well, obviously we feel pretty good about it, a lot better than if we were down 0-2 or had split the first 2 games. I give a lot of credit to our fans. Boy, they showed up in a big way these last 2 games and really got involved from the first pitch to the last pitch, and I know that means a lot to our players. And, you know, we know we've got a real rough road ahead of us. It's no trip to the beach going into Yankee Stadium and playing in that environment, and they play extremely well at home, so we know we have our work cut out for us.
Bob, could you talk about your decision to make Batista the only righty you'd switch for a lefty, and what a genius that makes you look like now?
Would you talk about the decision to select Batista the only righty to face a lefty, and what a genius that makes you look like now?
I refuse to comment on the second, but the first question, we wanted to get another right-handed bat in the lineup against Andy Pettit. He's extremely tough on lefties. He's extremely tough on everybody, but you know, our options were either Greg Colburn at first base, and I think that weakens us defensively considerably. We could have run Jay Bell in the middle infield somewhere, and once again, it takes away somewhat from our defense. Danny Batista, although he has not won a Gold Glove in his career, is a darn good defender in center field. We felt that was the position where we could install a right-handed bat and lose the least defensively.
Bob, you say you don't want to comment on that, but do you feel like you're in a little bit of a zone right now with the moves you're making? It seems like everything you do turns to gold.
Do you feel like you're in a little bit of a zone now with the moves you're making?
Players put you in a zone. I mean, that's it. You send them up there and you hope for the best. You try to put them in a situation where they've got the best chance to go out there and get something done, and then it's up to them to go out and get it done. It's nothing I'm doing. It's the way they're going about their business and the way they're taking over situations when I call upon them.
Yeah, was this the most economical you've seen Randy, and is he actually getting better and better?
Is this the most economical you've seen Randy, and is he getting better and better?
Well, there's no question this is one of his lowest pitch counts for a 9-inning ball game this year. Without checking the records, I'd say this probably is the lowest. And yes, he is getting better and better. This guy, he's always had the physical skills and the pitches to dominate hitters, and he's just in a very, very relaxed and focused zone right now, and we hope he stays that way for another week.
In the back.
You've got so many players contributing tonight. Matt Williams really stepped up in the field. He was stellar in that 3-run homer. So talk about Matt. He seems like he's really coming on.
Would you talk about Matt Williams? He seems like he's really coming on.
Yeah, I thought Matty had, with the exception of the first at-bat in the ball game, I thought he had good at-bats all night long. And even the first at-bat, he got the pitch he was looking for. He said he knew Pettit was going to throw him a first-pitch curveball, and he was going to lay all over it. And he just got a little anxious, jumped out in front of the ball a little bit and grounded it down to third base. But he just had a great approach tonight. Well, I tell you, Andy Pettit was as tough as he could be. I mean, I think at one point he had thrown something like 60 pitches and only 9 of them were balls. And against a team that, you know, we like to hack at strikes, but that shows you how good he was, that he was able to pitch in the strike zone as much as he did, and we couldn't do much with it. He was tremendous tonight.
Well, a very happy Bob Brenly. Why not? He's a rookie manager, up 2-0 in the World Series. And look at all the zeros for the New York Yankees. Only Posada, Spencer, and Soriano were able to come through off of the big unit. So the Yankees get only 3 hits for the second consecutive game. And that's the story tonight. Andy Pettit was good, but he had no margin for error in this game. And once he gave up 1 run, that's all that Randy Johnson needed. The line on Pettit, 7 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, no walks and 8 strikeouts. Mike Stanton came in, but by then the game was essentially over. You know, there's a very interesting subplot that's going on here in this series and inside baseball. A lot of people watch Jerry Colangelo take this expansion franchise and spend money wildly on players like Jay Bell, who hasn't even gotten into this World Series now. It got to the point where he had to ask players to defer salaries, and then it got to the point where he had to go to baseball to get a loan, and there are some owners who are sitting back going, yeah, and we financed this whole thing, and here you are in the World Series.
Well, if I was making $8 million a year and they said, well, can you cut back 2? I'll take the $6 million a year. Sure, anything you want.
And some of the players did. All right, so now it's Roger Clemens and it's Yankee Stadium and it's all the raucous noise that we expect to hear in the Bronx. The Yankees need their fans on Tuesday night and on Wednesday night and on Thursday night. We'll be back in a moment. This is the Jeep Postgame Report. Almost unhittable. Terrifying stuff, said Tim McCarver. He's got to be right on that one.
You're watching the Jeep Postgame Report, brought to you by your Tri-State Jeep dealer. Jeep, the most award-winning brand of 4x4s on earth.
Freedom should be accessible to everyone. That's why you can now get 0% financing on Jeep Grand Cherokee and Jeep Wrangler. And if you buy now, you'll make no monthly payments for 90 days. And while you can't put a price on freedom, you have to admit it's a pretty good deal. Check one out at your Jeep dealer.
I stopped to get something out of my car the other day, and the attendant in the parking lot tells me that he has had his hours cut from 5 days a week to 3 days a week. That's a 40% reduction in his take-home pay. He can't feed his family on that. He's really worried. Doesn't want to quit and take another job because he can't get another job, but he can't afford to live doing that. That's the great problem that we have in this economy. And we need somebody who can come back and make this economy strong again, can convince companies to stay, that convince other companies to come. That's my expertise. That's what I've been doing for 20 years. And my opponent just hasn't had that experience. Not a bad guy. He just hasn't had any experience whatsoever for this job. The best days are yet to come. For all of the problems we have, and we clearly are going to have to make some tough choices, the economy is in trouble, tax revenues are down because of the terrorism. But having said all of that, this is still, remember, the city with 8 million of the best people in the world.
Randy Johnson now in his career postseason against the Yankees, 3-0. He's given up only 3 earned runs over 19 innings while walking 7 and striking out 27. Against the rest of everybody in the major leagues, it's another story. But against the Yankees, that's a difficult matchup and one of the biggest reasons why is that historically the Yankees have always been built as a left-handed hitting team, which is what you have to do if you're the Yankees because of how short the right field wall is.
Absolutely. You build your club around the stadium you play in, and certainly there's a short right field porch.
All right, here's the drill on this postgame. We'll be getting back to Arizona. Michael Kay will be talking to Joe Torre. Michael Kay will be joining us live. There are other players at the podium. Plus, in a little while, we're going to fulfill the role of the normal MSG Sports Desk and give you Giants highlights, if you can call them that, Jets highlights as they hang on, and the surprising Islanders who win again in overtime again. And you're going to co-host these highlights. I'm looking forward to this
I have
with
to do
great
highlights. I love it.
anticipation.
It's a new experience for me.
So, Michael Kay with Joe Torre. Let's go back to Bank One Ballpark. This conversation taped moments ago.
Joe, I guess it's 1996 Redux. How do you feel about this?
That's what we're going to have to do. I guess the fact that we're going home is a little bit better than even the 96. You know, we need a lift. There's no question. And, you know, any one of the four guys we throw out there, we expect that we can get one from. You know, Roger will be our guy on Tuesday. We need to score a couple of runs. And it hasn't been easy, obviously, with the kind of pitching they've thrown at us.
Johnson today almost looked unhittable. I mean, was this the best that you've seen him? You haven't seen him that many times, obviously.
Right, I haven't seen Randy that much. But tonight, it looked like he had such good command. You know, he's got a couple of different fastballs. He has the slider. But he started throwing strikes from the get-go. And aside from that one walk to Velarde, you know, he looked like he was in complete command all night.
Now, your team, it's hard to say this, I guess. I'm going to put you on the spot. There was two great pitchers, but your team has only had 6 hits in 2 games. Is your team slumping now, or is it the pitching?
No, I think it's the pitching. When you got dominating guys like this out there, you know, you really have to tip your hat to them. Because we, you know, I saw the spark there in the 8th inning when they scored the other 3 runs. We got a couple of, you know, line drive, a couple of base hits, and it looked like we were going to do something, and you know, we weren't able to. But you know, it goes back to the axiom, Michael. You know, good pitching stops good hitting, and that's what we've seen here the last couple of days.
Andy looked great until the home run to Williams. What was that pitch? And do you think he was unnerved by getting hit by the comebacker?
I really don't. And Andy is so good at being locked in. You know, he got hit in the leg, and he said he was fine. In fact, he didn't even want us to come out there. I think he just left something up in the zone. You know, he went after the next 2 guys and got them out easily. It was just one of those things. You know, we had an opportunity to turn a double play. We weren't able to do it.
What happened with that?
I don't know. It looked like Soria may have got the ball caught and stuck in his glove. I mean, it's just one of those things. Sanders runs real well. He may have tried to rush it, or he just couldn't get a grip on it.
Final thing, Joe. Your team is so resilient. You're not a big speech guy, but do you talk to them at all, maybe as they get on the plane sometime tomorrow or Tuesday? Is there anything to say?
Well, we'll find something to say, Michael. We talk every day. I mean, during the postseason, we have talked every day, even if it's, you know, for a minute or 2. I think it's important that, you know, first of all, they have to know how I feel, and I think they know that right now. You know, they're so good at never losing the confidence they have and what has gotten us this far. I mean, after those first 2 games at Oakland, I mean, recent history tells us that, you know, we've been able to do things that have been hard to do. So hopefully you know, there's some more magic in our satchel.
Thanks, Joe.
Okay.
And so Joe Torre will continue to wear the hat. It ain't over till it's over. You know, it's a lot like, as Joe said, the first 2 games in Oakland when we watched Mark Mulder and Tim Hudson look unbeatable. And you say to yourself, how do you find a way to come back and beat those guys and Barry Zito? And they still did it. So as an athlete, you just tell yourself that's what you have to do. You win the next game.
Well, obviously, it's one game at a time. But this time it's different than Oakland. You're taking it back home. Now they get the DH again. The Yankees are going to have that extra hitter in their lineup. They're going to face the lesser 2 or maybe 1 in the rotation. Brenly has a decision to make whether he's going to come back with 4 on game 4 with Schilling or not. I don't.
How would you play that?
I would hold Schilling in game 5.
Or do you have to wait until game 3 is decided?
Well, I just think I'm up 2-love. If I lose the first 2 games, okay. Schilling is such a gamer and such a big game pitcher that I'm not afraid, if I'm the manager, to let him pitch game 5 with the Yankees swinging momentum back and pitching a big game 5 in New York.
All right, Michael Kay's with us live from Bank One Ballpark. Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Mike, when you wrote about the series at MSGNetwork.com before things got started, you wrote how the Yankee pitching will prevail. And, you know, even if Mike Bassina had pitched great and, say, allowed maybe 2 runs, the Yankees are still down here 2-0. That's how great Schilling and Johnson were.
Well, I really felt that Schilling and Johnson would probably take these first 2 games. I did pick the Yankees in 6, so I guess I put the pressure on my pick that they have to take the next 4. I think they're set up okay pitching-wise right now. Roger Clemens is back in New York. He's going to be well rested. The hamstring is fine. He had a battle of a stomach flu, something like that. That's fine as well. And that pitching matchup certainly does favor the Yankees, but that's a must-win. No one comes back from 3-0, so Clemens has to beat Anderson. El Duque, who's always been a pretty good big-game pitcher when he's El Duque, he matches up against Batista, and then they have to worry about the 2 big guys again. But the prevailing thought in the clubhouse right now, guys, is we can't think about facing Schilling and Johnson again. We have to think about Game 3. Once Game 3 takes place, then we'll worry about Game 4, and then they'll have to worry about Schilling and Johnson. But the one thing that this victory did, it gives Bob Brenly the luxury of not having to pitch these guys on 3 days rest.
I agree with you, Michael, and to me, Schilling, the type of, I was just saying with Al right now, that the type of pitcher that Schilling is, that he likes big games. These are veteran 2 starters. It's not Mulder, Zito, and Hudson, who are basically young. It's 2 veteran pitchers, and Schilling particularly is a bulldog. And if I'm Bob Brenly, hey, I don't care if it goes 2-2. I'm not afraid to give the ball in Game 5, 2-2, let's just say, hypothetically, at Yankee Stadium.
Well, he's got to like his chances, Keith. I agree with you. I don't think he's going to be afraid of Yankee Stadium and 56,000 people. He's pitched big games before. He has a great postseason record. So even if it's 2-2, and then what you have to deal with after that, you bring Randy Johnson back to start Game 6 here in front of 49,000 plus. So right now, if you're on the Diamondback side, you're feeling pretty good about things. And if you're on the Yankee side, well, you have to sit back and go, hey, we can beat these guys. Mike Stanton just told me moments ago, he said, listen, look at these guys' records. They've been beaten before. So if they get beat before, they can get beaten again.
Mike, I thought if there was one karma moment, it was when Luis Sojo batted with 2 on. The Yankees had back-to-back hits for the first time off of Randy Johnson. And you and I talked about this in late August and all through the month of September, how if Joe Torre plans on using Luis Sojo in a big spot in the postseason, he's got to get this guy some at-bats. You think he's lamenting the fact now that he didn't get him those at-bats and that he had only 17 since the middle of August prior to hitting here with nobody out in the 8th inning of the World Series?
Well, it does make you wonder why they didn't choose Gerald Williams, because as we've mentioned a couple of times, Gerald Williams had 4 home runs lifetime against Randy Johnson. So that was a call right there. Joe could have gone with any number of people. He could have gone with Enrique Wilson as well, who's a switch hitter batting from the right side. He decided to go with Sojo, who I believe was 3 for 17 against Johnson. And I said on the radio side, Al, it's funny that you just asked me this question. I said this is a pretty tough call for Luis Sojo. He didn't play much at all during the second half of the season, and all of a sudden you pull him off the bench and say, okay, hit this. And it was not very easy to hit. He hit into an around-the-horn double play. But, you know, if you look at that inning, if Matt Williams doesn't hit the home run, do we really think that Johnson gives up those 2 hits anyway? You know, sometimes we fall into the trap of the fallacy of the predetermined outcome. I don't know if the Yankees get the 2 runners on if they're up only 1-0.
Mike, you're right. Keith and I were talking about that. You know, he's just throwing balls up there and saying, hey, guys, hit it. You know, I'm up 4-0.
Absolutely. And, you know, I think that Randy was given the freedom to do whatever he wanted in this game by Schilling's performance last night. Schilling wins 9-1. He didn't pitch that great, according to a lot of people, including the Diamondbacks. Bob Brenly told John Sterling today that Schilling did not have his best stuff. He shut down the Yankees. But that 1-0 lead gave Johnson the presence of mind, the freedom of mind to go out there and do what he does. You know, he said before the game yesterday that his problem in the postseason in the past has been he tries to do too much. He tries to throw the ball through the catcher rather than to the catcher, and today he just came out dealing. That slider was nasty. Yankee right-handed hitters had no chance. You know, one thing that the Yankees should think about maybe if they have to face Johnson in a Game 6, and obviously they'd like to do that, remember when Bobby Valentine's Mets beat Randy Johnson, they did it with 2 left-handed hitters getting pretty big hits. He was not afraid to have the lefties do that. If the lefties can identify the slider and just sit on the fastball, then they could get some hits. Olrud got a couple of hits, and so did Ventura. So maybe that might be the way to go. Maybe you play Tino Martinez in that game. Maybe you play Paul O'Neill or David Justice in that game. Yankees going to have to do some things different, but again, like Mike Stanton said, you can't worry about games 5 and 6 until you play and win games 3 and 4.
And Mike, you may not have heard this because it was on the TV broadcast and you might have been on the air at the time. To show you how easy it was for Bob Brenly to manage this game tonight, after the 8th inning, he went over to Randy Johnson and said, you want to finish this thing? And Randy Johnson said, yeah. And he went, okay, and he walked away. That was it.
Yeah, this was not a very difficult 2 games for Bob Brenly to manage. You know, when it was 1-0, you know, you figure it gets a little bit hairy. Things could happen in the late innings. But Matt Williams' home run, it freed things up for him. And really, I think the Yankees would have stood up on the top step of the dugout and celebrated if they brought in Kim to relieve Randy Johnson. I mean, Randy Johnson only had 93 pitches. And again, we come back to the fact they didn't have to save save him for pitching on 3 days rest because you win this game, and then he has the full allotment anyway. So it was a no-brainer. Anybody they would have brought in from the bullpen, anybody, the Yankees would have been just ecstatic, and the Yankees didn't have to, or unfortunately for them, they only saw Randy Johnson in the 9th inning, and they had no chance.
I agree, Michael. I think that from Arizona, and Brentley just said that, as a, hey, he wanted him to go 9. And I think, look at the lineup of the Yankees right now. Justice, O'Neill, Martinez on the bench. Those are 3 of their main contributors. And vice versa. You look at the top of the order here with Arizona. Womack, Counsell, Gonzalez. They went 0 for 10. Both these clubs are vulnerable to left-hand pitching. And the Yankees, like I said, because of no DH, I disagree with Velarde playing first base. I would have gone with Martinez. Like you said, it was very astute by you. Olerud hurt and beat Johnson in the playoffs last year. Or was it 2 years ago when the Mets were there? I can't remember. Last year, it was last year. So I think Martinez should stay in the game because he's a good little line drive hitter.
And he takes the ball the other way when he's locked in, and that's what you have to do against Johnson. You can't expect to pull him. Keith, I wanted to ask you something. In your whole career, have you ever seen a pitcher like Johnson that really dictates the other team's lineup? I mean, the Yankees are a lefty-laden team, and Joe Torre had to put a right-handed lineup out there. I can't think of any other pitcher in this generation where you completely turn around your lineup and take out your best players, and that's what Joe Torre had to do for Randy Johnson.
Well, I think that he's a left-handed version of J.R. Richards, who was 6'8" with the Houston Astros, where you would want to load up left-hand hitters against him. I faced Randy Johnson when he was a rookie coming up in Montreal, and Candelaria had just gone to the American League, and I said, God, we got rid of Candelaria, thank God. And here comes a guy. Candelaria was 6'5", and all of a sudden we got a 21-year-old kid who's 6'8".
And back then he had no idea where the ball was going.
No fooling.
And now he's so much of a better pitcher. And again, we keep bringing this up on successive days. They made the decision to start David Justice yesterday because he had great numbers against Schilling. Well, that was Justice as an Atlanta Brave when Schilling was a Philly, and they played Randy Velarde today at first base. But those numbers were compiled when he was not the pitcher he is right now. He hardly walks anybody. He has 11-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, which is exactly what he did today. And Randy Velarde, the last time he faced him was in 1995. So I don't think those numbers are applicable anymore. What Joe Torre should just do is put his best hitters up there and go for it. But again, the Yankees have to win a couple of games to even think about facing Randy Johnson again.
I just think, Michael, from my point of view, my approach to Randy Johnson, and I hit left-handers fairly well. Now, I know if I had to face Randy Johnson, I mean, you've got to pick a corner of the plate. Either you're going to look for you can't cover the whole plate with him, if you're a left-hand hitter. Either you got to look for a fastball middle in. If he throws you a slider away, you take it, or you're looking for a breaking ball or a fastball away, geared on fastball, and you got to take inside. So you have every pitch as a hitter to tactically attack him and have a 50-50 chance of guessing in the right area where you can put a hurt on him. And I just think the left-handers maybe have a better chance.
And Keith, they did the same thing against Schilling, and I think that they were guessing too much tonight. And if you guess anything with Randy Johnson but the fastball, I mean, it's almost suicidal. You've got to react off the fastball. That's what the hitters were saying before, and it didn't seem like they were doing that. It started to get slider in their head. They started to become slider conscious, and when you do that, you're in trouble. The Yankees' game plan, I think, was to try to guess the right pitch, and they were guessing wrong the whole time. Like you said, the best way to go about it is maybe to guess a zone, but don't guess a pitch because you're just going to look foolish at the plate.
All right, meanwhile, Mike, whatever scouting reports the Yankees had on these two haven't worked yet. What about Game 3? What do we know about Brian Anderson, and how do you think this plays out at the stadium on Tuesday?
Well, Roger Clemens is probably going to pitch the biggest game of his career for the Yankees. I guess the closest thing would be Game 5 against the A's, where he wasn't healthy and he gutted it through. And now all of a sudden he's going to deal down 2-0 and he has to win this game. Nobody comes back from 3-0. I think he's healthy from what I hear. The hamstring is fine, and also he's feeling healthy stomach virus-wise as well. He's going to be well rested. He doesn't have to travel with the team tonight. He left before the game. Brian Anderson has had a very, very bad season, but he's a pretty decent pitcher. He features a pretty good fastball, changes speeds well, and also has a breaking ball that counteracts left-handers. The Yankees have to take him the other way. He's a guy who does not scare easily. From people that I've spoken to that know him very well, he's not going to be intimidated by the 56,000 people at Yankee Stadium. That's easier said than done, but this is a tough kid. He pitched for the Indians in the postseason, so he knows exactly what this entails, and we'll see how he stands up to a cauldron of people in the Bronx that are just going to be as loud as they were when the Yankees came back and played the Oakland A's in that Game 5.
All right, Mike, anything else? General observations, people you talked to, anything like that?
Well, I'll tell you what, when you walked into that Yankee clubhouse was absolutely empty. And one by one, the players came out, but the media was assembled in the middle of that clubhouse, I'd say, for 7 to 10 minutes before anybody came out. The players stayed in the food room eating. The first guy who came out was Derek Jeter.
The food wasn't congealing, was it?
I couldn't see the food because we're not allowed to look in there, but I would assume it was congealing. And, you know, the plastic
You're not allowed back there.
No, I'm not allowed at all. Players only. And then Mike Stanton came out and said some things as well. So I don't think the Yankees are demoralized by any stretch of the imagination. I think that what they're doing is they're gaining some strength from the fact that they were in the same situation, a tougher situation against the A's. And, you know, they're not sitting back and go, oh, we're going to lose this series, but they know they certainly made things tough on themselves.
All right, recent history is on their side. We'll see if history, though, changes with the team of the present, the 4-year-old Arizona Diamondbacks. All right, Mike, thanks a lot. We'll see you in New York.
Take it easy, guys.
See you, Mike.
That's Mike McKay about to fly with the Yankees to New York and prepare for Game 3 in the Bronx. You know, we had a thing way back in the 90s when the Yankees were so bad that Mike would come out and they'd lose like 10 games in a row. And every night he'd come out and say, Al, it's funereal-like in there. The food is congealing. And that's an old post-game joke that goes way back before the Yankees were what they are now. Let's go back to Arizona. Michael Kay had a conversation with Derek Jeter a short while ago.
Is it tough to waste an effort like Andy Pettitte gave because he pitched so well?
He did a great job. He made one mistake, and Matt Williams hit it out. But, you know, Pet definitely pitched well enough to win. Unfortunately, we were just facing Randy Johnson tonight.
Do you sense that this team is a little bit down? Obviously, you've come back from deficits before. Can you give us the tenor of the team right now?
Well, I mean, you know, this game's over with. You know, everyone just basically said we'll come out and get them on Tuesday. That's the only way you can look at it. You know, we ran into two good pitchers who were hot as well, and that's they were tough to beat, and they dominated us the first 2 games, but you know, we come out here in Game 3 and win, and we can make things interesting.
Derek, why is this team so, it seems calm, not happy, but calm right now, not panicking?
You have no choice. I mean, if you go into panic mode, then you're in trouble. You have to take it one game at a time, and we take the same approach if we were up 2 games. And you got to take every game like it's a do-or-die situation.
Take the same approach, and they mean it. Meanwhile, the Yankee bats have been quiet. In the ALDS and ALCS combined, they only hit .252 as a team. Now, everything goes down in the postseason. Meanwhile, in the World Series, it's even worse. As a team, they're batting .102, and it was below 100 until those late singles by Spencer and Soriano. They've averaged now a half a run a game in these 2 games after getting only 1 yesterday and being shut out by Randy Johnson tonight. When we come back, we'll tell you what happened to the Giants, the Jets, and the Islanders, because by now we know what happened to the Yankees. Matt Williams with some icing on the cake. Back after this.
New York Rangers hockey on MSG Network. Messier, Leach, Lindros, and the rest of the Blue Shirts are at the Garden to battle the Stars. Monday night, only on MSG Network.
We deck the hall with Christmas. The Rockettes are all a-dancing. The choir is a-singing. The sleigh bells are a-ringing. Never was there ever such a Christmas show.
The Radio City Christmas Spectacular.
It will fill your heart with Christmas. Taking someone that you know.
Someone that you love.
To see the Radio City Christmas show.
Call today.
My wife, she thinks my hobby is a weird obsession.
And what's that?
Knicks memorabilia. I have Frazier's jersey from the '72 playoffs, the comb that braided Sprewell's hair before his first game as a Knick, and the socks LJ wore when he made that miracle 4-point play. You can just smell the love.
You're a real fan. Go home. Tell your wife you're fine.
The Knicks on MSG. You in?
New York baseball fans, relive the classic Subway Series with your very own Yankees-Mets chess game. All figures are dressed in uniforms of the Yanks and the Amazons. It's all part of the great merchandise lineup you'll find only at MSGstore.com.
The #1 source for up-to-the-minute coverage of New York sports news and information is the all-new MSGNetwork.com. MSGNetwork.com delivers complete coverage, including breaking news and exclusive reports from MSG personalities. Get more scores and statistics, post your opinions and interact with other fans, and speak out on hot issues with daily polls. Log on to the ultimate New York sports website, MSGNetwork.com. More angles, more insight every day.
hope we can win this thing, obviously for ourselves, but for the city also. And it's a long way from being down 0-2 in the division series, but you know, we're going back to the World Series, and like I said, it never gets old.
We're back on MSG, and we'll be back for more post-game Yankee coverage in a moment. But first of all, have you ever seen a team on a kickoff commit 3 penalties at the same time on one play?
No.
That's how things are going for the Giants right now. After 2 one-point losses that were heartbreaking for head coach Jim Fassel, he vowed that he would be more involved in every coaching aspect of the team. Didn't work out today in Washington as they took on the Redskins, and the blitz was on early. First quarter, Washington already up 7-0. Eric Metcalf, who hasn't run a punt back in 20 months, goes all the way. This is unreal how he eludes everybody pursuing him wearing red, white, and blue. 89 yards, his 12th career punt return. 14-0 Washington. The Giants are reeling, but they do regroup. They're on the board at 14-7, and Ike Hilliard gets this pass from Kerry Collins. 346 yards on the day passing for Collins. The game's tied at 14. Now Washington up 17-14 in the third quarter. Tricks, the bag of tricks. Kevin Lockett to Darius Thompson. 31 yards. The Giants were completely surprised on the play. 27-21, fourth quarter. Tony Banks, wide open. Jason Sehorn made one bad step in the middle of his pass coverage and got burned by Michael Westbrook. 6:40 to go in the game, 35-21. Tony Banks threw for 190 yards. The Giants committed 3 penalties on the second half kickoff and lose 35-21. Good overall numbers for Kerry Collins. Amani Toomer had a busy day. Tony Banks, very good when it mattered. Washington committed 10 penalties for 76 yards, and they still win. Jim Fassel was not happy for the 3rd week in a row.
I'm not happy with them at all, but we can't play football like this. But you know, like everything else, I'm responsible for everything. My fault, and I'll take it that way. But I'll change whatever I need to change, whatever I can change, and I will. And that's not a threat. That's a promise.
Giants in some trouble. That was an NFC East game. You watch a lot of football. What's your take on this team?
Well, I think the last 2 weeks where they lost those heartbreakers, those 2 games they should have won, St. Louis, and then last week they lost by a point, and then they have to go in division on the road, no matter how bad the Redskins are and what their record is. That's just a tough. That's a tough hill to climb.
Well, as far as the New York Jets are concerned, they had a great comeback against the Miami Dolphins. Then they take a huge step backward last week. This week, Herman Edwards said, just play the way you practice. What he got was sloppy and a win, as the Jets just had enough against the Carolina Panthers. First quarter, Jets driving. Vinny Testaverde to Richie Anderson. Oh, did he have a mess of a day. That's picked up by Rashard Anderson. Vinny Testaverde, the lone man back. You got to be kidding me. 6-0 Carolina. They missed the extra point, and that is crucial. Meanwhile, the Jets appealed, saying Anderson never had the ball, and I tend to disagree, and so do the officials. The play stood. Jets responding. Jamie Henderson blocking Todd Sauerbrun's punt. Chris Hayes scoops it up. That's a touchdown for the special teams. Jets take a 7-6 lead. Fourth quarter, Jets down 12-10. Chris Wenke, the rookie, learning the hard way. This ball was a rainbow, giving Aaron Glenn all sorts of time to jump up and make the interception. He goes all the way back to the Carolina 21. Now, the Jets defense was pretty good all afternoon. Under 5 minutes to go, John Hall in. He puts it between the uprights from 34 yards out, and the Jets hold on to win ugly, 13-12. 4 turnovers for Herman Edwards' team today. Testaverde, 21 out of 34, but he didn't seem in sync, throwing for 3 interceptions. Curtis Martin had a huge day, 159 yards, as the Jets outgained Carolina 358-162. Wenke only 12 of 34 with the interception, and only 2 for 15 were the Panthers on third down conversion. Their record shows you why they are as bad as they are, with only 1 win. Herman Edwards had these things to say after the game was over.
Well, I think hopefully they grew up a little bit. Obviously, you know, we've been maligned a little bit, rightly so, because we hadn't been able to really stop anybody. But I think this was a good test for us. I think when you look at the stats, I don't really know if they ever drove the ball past the 50-yard line on the defense today. I don't know that, but just looking at the game, it didn't seem like that. You know, so I think hopefully we can build on this.
Meanwhile, the New York Islanders, with Kenny Janssen doing some work along the near boards, trapping 3 Dallas Stars behind the play. These are the Dallas Stars. This is a big-time team. Mike Pekka beats Marty Turco in overtime. The Isles are celebrating, but you know hockey. Wait, this one's got to be reviewed. Did it go in? And absolutely, you saw it go in under the crossbar. Michael Pekka, hired to be a hero and a leader, was today, as the Islanders have a point in every single game this season. They have not lost in regulation time. They have a point in all 10 games they've played. They look like they're the real deal out at the Nassau Coliseum. Now, speaking of the real deal, Randy Johnson and Curt Schilling, Michael Kay giving Yankee fans a reason to believe that they could somehow find a way to win Game 3. We'll be back here on the Jeep Postgame Report in a moment. Thanks for joining us after the Yankees got dominated today by Randy Johnson and trail 2-zip.
Your typical airline credit card gives you 1 mile for every dollar you spend. But only the Delta SkyMiles credit card from American Express gives you that. Plus, you'll always get double miles at gas stations, home improvement stores, and on Delta tickets, on top of 5,000 bonus miles just for getting the card. Watch how quickly all those extra miles add up to your free vacation travel. The Delta SkyMiles credit card, faster than your typical airline credit card. Call 1-800-SkyMiles to apply now.
My buddies, Ted, Jerry, Phil, they'd do anything for me, except give me a cigarette. Just one cigarette when we're out fishing. Nobody around. They wouldn't do it.
I mean, we're in the middle of nowhere, for crying out loud!
Hey, thanks, guys.
I actually believe that if, God forbid, I had been the mayor during such a calamity, I would have done as well or better than Rudy Giuliani.
Happy?
Yeah.
No.
Where's the mountain made of crystal? Where's the 10,000-seat arena?
But this is fantastic.
Where are all the slot machines?
The new Mohegan Sun. There's nothing else like it.
Not only against the Yankees, but against all the teams they faced in the postseason. Randy Johnson and Curt Schilling, unreal. 3-1 for Johnson. Look at the ERAs and the strikeout per 9 innings. 1.36 to 0.79. 0.79 for a guy who pitches complete games all over the place. 4 complete games. Let's go back to Arizona. Randy Johnson speaking to the media a short while ago.
In the 5th inning, when you went 2-0 on Shane Spencer and he pulled the ball foul, would you talk a little bit about your reaction to that swing?
Well, I think he, if I recall right, it may have been a slider, so I think he was cheating a little bit. And, you know, part of a pitcher's job is to analyze the approach of a hitter, whether he's cheating, whether he's opened up in the stance or off the plate, makes adjustments as the game goes on, because therefore I'm going to make my adjustments. And I just think that, you know, he was cheating a little bit on a breaking ball, and after that, you know, I just tried mixing it up enough, and then I later in the game I threw a slider that hung up a little bit and got the base hit, and then Soriano hit a good fastball, and that's right after I think Matty hit the 3-run home run. And the one thing a pitcher doesn't want to do is go out there and give up a run right after your team has scored some runs. The momentum can surely shift, especially playing in this magnitude of a game. So, you know, I'm predominantly a fly ball type pitcher. I don't get many double plays, but Matty turned quite a few of them tonight that were huge.
Did you make sure that you just avoided, you watch for them trying to cheat on you?
Did you just make sure you avoided watching watch them cheat on you?
Well, to be honest, I don't know what their approach was against me. I'm sure they had one. It may have been that, you know, work the pitch count with him, don't get deep in it, but see if he's throwing strikes. If he is, then obviously go up there and swing. But I think I felt that way initially, early in the game that they were taking some pitches, and I felt that was the approach with the Atlanta Braves as well in Game 1, that they were going to try and make me throw some pitches every inning and maybe try and get me out of the game. But because Damien did such a good job behind home plate calling the game today, we were able to get ahead of hitters and therefore put the hitters in a situation that now they have to be a little more aggressive, and I can do what I want, opposed to having to throw maybe a fastball right over the middle of the plate and get hurt.
And as we've said before, pitchers always ice up. Derek Jeter always ices up after a game. That's not unusual. I think we have to explain, when Randy Johnson used the word cheating, I think they in the press room took that the wrong way, like the Yankees had some secret information or something. What does he mean? They're just moving in a little bit on the plate, or?
Well, like I said earlier, Al, I think that it's not cheating. It's just like when you've got a pitcher as dominant as Randy Johnson, you're going to look area. Then that's not cheating. It's just it's up to him.
It's just the word he uses.
That's the wrong terminology. It's whether they're looking in. I mean, when he threw that slider inside, was it Spencer that pulled it foul? Spencer was ahead 2-0 in the count, and he was looking for something in to jerk. So that's not cheating. That's just a strategic decision made by the hitter. Right. And it's not, I can't believe that a pitcher can recognize that. It's got to be the catcher that sees that. The catcher calls the game.
Meanwhile, how would you be feeling if you pitched like that and you still knew that your team had no chance to win the game? That's the story of Andy Pettitte, who really made 2 mistakes, the home run ball and the early double in the second inning. 7 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 0 walks, and 8 strikeouts. Now in 7 World Series starts, Andy Pettitte is 2-2 with an ERA at about 4, and guess how many runs he gave up today? 4. Let's go back to Arizona. Michael Kay and Andy Pettitte.
Well, it's supposed to be down and in. So doing a real good one in the first pitch, and just the next one just was right there. I mean, I elevated it for him and everything. It was just spinning nicely for him.
You're taking the shot off the knees right before that. Were you thinking about that or feeling that at all?
No, I mean, I just, I don't know what happened. I mean, it was a World Series, and you can't make that kind of mistake, and I usually don't make that kind of mistake, and he made it, and he capitalized. I'm not a big fan of Matt right now. He thought I had a World Series base hit, too, and he took that away from me, too. So.
Watching Randy, is there a sense that tonight you almost have to be perfect?
Well, I mean, obviously he's great, and he dominated the game. He gave us some balls to hit though, and we weren't able to get them. But yeah, I mean, obviously he's going to dominate the game, and we knew. I mean, I know you got shut. I'm looking for a shutout almost, especially when I go out there and take the stuff I had out there tonight. It was frustrating. You got 4 runs, but I felt really good tonight.
What's the frustration level like with this team right now?
I mean, I think it was frustrating. I think it's frustrating to get a decent pitching performance, late in the game, almost like in the Oakland series, and just to get shut down. But, heck, you got to be a man about it. They pitched great, Randy pitched awesome, and we got a pretty good pitcher going in Game 3 for us, and that's why we got a lot of confidence, and that's why we've been able to do what we've been able to do here lately. So, I think everybody really feels pretty good about going back to New York. Obviously, we need to win a few games, but we'll do like we always do. We'll take it one game at a time. We'll worry about Game 3 and battle and just try to get some wins.
Andy, is this when experience really helps because you've been down this road before? You don't get rattled.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, obviously, you're able to lean on that, but. Again, sometimes, I have experience, and usually late in the game I don't make the kind of mistake I made tonight, So, them guys are hungry for it, and they're going to battle us, and obviously if we give them a little daylight right now, they're going to take advantage of it, So, but obviously we still feel very confident, I think.
And have every reason to feel that way. You could tell the moment Matt Williams hit that home run, Pettitte pounded his glove. Sometimes you tip your cap, that's a big baseball term, and sometimes, as he said, I elevated it for him and he hit it out.
Well, like he said, it was a breaking ball. You don't want to throw a breaking ball over the waist high down the middle. He wanted to throw it down and in, and he hung it, and he got burned. He could have popped it up.
I'm sure there are a lot of Yankee fans who would be more comfortable if they were going to lose with the guys that have been heroic before for this team, the David Justices, the Paul O'Neills, and the Tino Martinez's. This is one button that Joe Torre pushed tonight that didn't work out. These at-bats by Randy Velarde against Randy Johnson came a long time ago, but they spoke loudly. He was almost a .500 hitter against him. Tonight, he gets a walk, 2 groundouts, and a strikeout, so obviously those numbers meant nothing in 2001. Here's what Randy Velarde had to say.
I was vintage Randy Johnson tonight. You know, this guy, why he's had the losing record in the playoffs is beyond me, because this guy's a workhorse, and he even actually turned it on an extra gear in that last inning.
Were you surprised his control was so good tonight?
No, not really. You know, obviously his control is going to really dictate the type of game he's going to have, and, you know, we knew about the 5th inning when he still had that no-hitter going that it was going to be tough score runs.
Randy, not to say it's demoralizing, but what's the feeling coming here in 2 games in a row when these guys were doing what they did against you?
Right. It's tough. You know, we obviously dug ourselves a deep hole, and you know, but we've been here before, and it's obviously critical that we win Game 3. You know, we got to take it one step at a time. Everybody's talking about we need to sweep at home. No, we need to win Game 3 and then go from there.
And from Randy Velarde's talks about Game 3, the pitching matchup is Roger Clemens against Brian Anderson. What do you think?
Advantage of Yankees. The Yankees' strength is that they have, throughout the whole playoffs, has been that they have 4 solid starters.
But so far, Brian Anderson, who's been used in a variety of different ways, doesn't walk a lot of guys. That is not an ERA that says Yankee win on paper. 1-0, he is in the postseason. Roger Clemens, maybe a bigger question. That stomach virus hurt his stamina. He's 0-1 with a 3.38 ERA, and we don't know about that hamstring. So we're done on the G Postgame Report. You can go back out and cause trouble on the streets of New York.
No, I'm going home. I'm tired.
Did you have to call Michael Kay astute? We gotta live with the guy. Anyway, thanks a lot for joining us. Our producer is Dave Patterson. Tonight's show directed by Dave Seisler. For everybody, including Michael Kay in Arizona, I'm Al Troutwig with Keith Hernandez. We'll see you Tuesday night back here on MSG.
Remember the missed chance on the double play ball hit by Reggie Sanders. See if that comes back to haunt the Yankees. It does. Goodbye, Matt Williams, 3-run homer, 4-0 Arizona.
All our men and women in the armed forces joining us. Great to have you along. 2-1 delivery, Jeter. It's over. Arizona wins it. They're 2-0, and Randy Johnson a 3-hit shutout.